Okay. Hello. How are we doing? I love you all. Bye. Oh my god, chat. You wouldn't believe the problems I had. For those that weren't here, probably watching the VODs, just know that as soon as I started this stream initially, not even a minute in, like 40 seconds in, the internet crapped out. It was just like, Ethernet, ree! Why? What are the chances? Anyway, how are we all doing today, people? Howdy, Xavier! Hello there, John. On our way to the true waifu of this game. Oh no. Platy, good to see ya. What a lovely sunset? Yes, a sunset, I believe. Are we in the clear now? I think so, Chaotic. I think everything's good right now. You can speak to Ronnie Doll again at Ronnie's chamber site at Grace, apparently at the end of her quest line. Ooh, okay, good to know. Sunrise? I'm not sure where the sun rises or sets, to be honest. That's actually, I think if I recall correctly, the sky started out with the sun coming down this way, so yeah, it sets here. So yeah, it sets in the west, just like normal stuff. Speaking of normal. Rises in the east, sets in the west. There we go. Actually, no, wait, where's west? No, okay, yeah, I'm right. It sets in the west. Okay. I was about to be like, wait a second. Yeah, no, that's still generally west. Are we headed for mommy? Yes, Pastor, we're headed for mommy. Mommy? Sorry, mommy? Sorry, mommy? Sorry. Exactly, John. Anyway, for those wondering why I'm starting the stream here, this is because, before I started streaming, I wanted to get a quick, look at this area. Because it hit me while working on the stuff for the Stormvale thing. So, basically, to give you a progress report on my whole thing with the penal colonies. So, the Stormvale penal colony rebels, right? They basically declare independence. That's because the Erdtree Royal Capital is busy with the whole Ancient Dragon War thing. So, you know, they're busy with Farum Azula over here to be caring about, what's going on with their frontier stuff. Also, there's a few problems. One, the Lyrian Wars happened, and you just know that when the Lyrian Wars happen, that means that the supply convoys going all the way from the capital to Stormvale were being disrupted, right? And there's already a huge lag time because it's such a great distance. So like you obviously know that makes things already difficult. Plus the Stormvale with its true storm at the time is going to be even worse. And now on top of that, you got disruptions to the supply convoys. And then right after the Lyrian Wars are settled and all that, then you got Grand Sax dropping in here. So that's going to keep the royal capital distracted, and then the Ancient Dragon War itself. So it's like, okay, the Stormvale penal colony is probably getting neglected heavily. So then it's inevitable that there's going to be a rebellion. You just need one very particularly brave, heroic individual among the laborers to hear word about the ancient dragons attacking. Obviously, again, the banished knights and the exile soldiers are dragon worshippers, so naturally this is going to restore their will they lost that turned them into penal colonists in the first place, right? They just were no longer willing to resist and fight, even though they refused to be part of America's order and stuff, so they were sent to the frontier. Well, now they have their opportunity where they're going to fight, they rebel, they basically establish Stormvale as theirs, they're going to finish constructing it as their castle with the help of the Stormhawk King and all that stuff, because again, they have a history with Stormhawk, so it makes sense that they could get the Stormhawk King support, again, especially with the Ancient Dragon War going on. Again, recall that, here we go, Farum Azula over here, if I recall correctly, has Stormhawks. I believe that's one of the enemies you can fight there, so yeah, a lot going on there. Anyway, so Stormvale gets secure, right? And then you have, like, of course, you have Stormgate here. Then you have the Hero's Grave continues to get used. The Church of Ella gets built around this time, probably, because it's not a Radigan or America church, so it's probably a pagan church to consecrate burials. If you recall, there's a America chapel inside the Hero's Grave proper, but obviously that's obsolete when you have all the coffins that are, well, all the bodies, which are being brought from Stormvale. All the heroes' bodies are being brought from Stormvale through Stormgate to the Gatefront ruins, right? The settlement there has all the coffins that they're preparing and burying, right? Then the coffins are being brought over here. They get consecrated at the Church of Ella. Then they get taken over here and buried down here, right? So it completely cuts out the whole America Chapel inside the actual building. Moving on from there. Also, you have the whole idea with the stranded graveyard next door, which has the Halig Drake talisman, which is like, oh hey, they're trying to resist. Oh, it's the dragon worshippers resisting the holy powers, right? So it's like they're trying to throw off that cultural element there, right? So it's like, okay, we don't follow the Erdtree capital's faith. Okay, then you have, of course, these bridges here. You have this one here at the mouth of Murkwater, so the Murky River, or the Cloudy River, I should say. And then the Bridge of Sacrifices again. So that's being built so they can go down and take over this entire island, which is now, of course, a peninsula, thanks to the bridge here, right? So then Weeping Peninsula, we can see, again, blah, 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 go around here. You get the demi-human forest ruins. Again, notice this. This will be relevant for later. Then the South Lookout Tower right here. So the Forest Lookout Tower, again, we can see this lookout tower has like remnants of walls and stuff, so it's likely a small fort was built here to oversee, again, the demi-human forest settlement here. And then, of course, you have the Tombsward settlement, which, again, you have a similar fort, which, similar lookout tower, which seems to be the remains of a fort that was built here. So, again, you have this entire area being taken. And, of course, we know about Castle Morn. Now, Castle Morn seems to be built on the remains of an ancient civilization ruin. We, of course, see how the highways and stuff curve around to all come to this area of Morn. There's obviously the golem, which has been left over guarding Castle Morn here. So it seems to be that there was something here that the Banished Knights ultimately wanted, and they built Castle Morn there on top of it. Then, of course, over here, we have Fort Height, right? So this is the part where I was getting... So it's like, okay, they built Saints Bridge in order to get access to the Summonwater Village. And this is all to get over to Caelid, right? But the thing here was like, okay, why build Fort Height? It's a little out of the way, right? Because this is all a cliffside, right? So, like, you don't really need to build a fort in this corner. It doesn't really serve much strategic function like some of the others. Like, again, there's a reason for the other places being built where they are, right? They each have their individual motivation. What does Fort Height serve? Well, the only thing Fort Height serves is to look over the Mistwood Ruins, which would imply that the Mistwood Ruins already existed before Fort Height did. Well, this becomes the curious then. Well, what were the Mistwood Ruins? All we see is evidence of more recent occupation by Godfrey's forces and stuff, which, again, makes sense because, you know, eventually Godfrey's going to be coming through here and yada, 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 right? Obviously, Fort Height got its name because it's owned by good old Kenneth Height and his family. What's important, though, is where we are now. And it finally clicked for me. I'm like, oh, the regalia, or treasure sword, I guess you could also say, of Eohid. I don't know how it's supposed to be pronounced properly. Again, it's spelled like Eocaid, but the Japanese pronounce it Eohid. And I know it's a Gaelic word, and so finding out pronunciation of those old like Irish and British words was like, ugh, just kill me. So that's gonna be a pain in the ass. Hey, Emperor of Gravelash. Well, greetings. In the Oswald of Kareem voice, it's like, greetings. God, I love Oswald's voice actor. Doesn't Morn have unique jellyfish? Do they have unique jellyfish, Xavier? I actually don't know. I actually don't know if the jellyfish here are unique. But if they are, that could be interesting in and of itself. Anyway, you winning, Loki? You tapping the Rotussi? Or are you going on another ramble in the history of the region? The latter, Adolphus. Maybe it's like that, CHKH thing where, it's an H written a bit extra from the throat, like Bach. Again, the Japanese just pronounces it Heed, or like it's Eohido. Again, I don't know how that works with Gaelic and all that, because it's Aok, like Chaid, I think, or something like that. Again, I don't know. Actually, do I have the weapon on me? No, I don't. Anyway, I will need the shield. But yeah, so it's like, anyway, whatever. Well, I'll say, if someone, like, who knows the pronunciation or has an expertise in Gaelic could, like, tell me in the comments or in the chat, I would really appreciate it. Or the chuts and chutpa and chutzpah. I actually don't know how to pronounce that word, believe it. That's another word I don't know how to pronounce. Is it kutzpah? Yeah, I don't know. I think they look different. I'm not sure if they're anywhere else, but I swear I recall they are different. God, I love fantasy history. Your work is much appreciated. No problem, Adolphus. Yeah, we gotta check them out at some point then, Adolphus. Xavier, because those jellyfish being different could be informative. You never know. I mean, it has to at least mean something. Anyway, so the point is, you notice how these graves here with the regalia of Eohid tells us, oh, okay, so these simple graves seem to be graves for the now destroyed country of Aohede. Okay, so Aohede's gone right now. Well, why build these graves to Aohede here? Well, notice how they have view. Like, as soon as you come in here, you pick up the item, and you have perfect view of the Mistwood. Specifically, the way these point, you may notice that it more or less point, like, there we go. More or less points straight to the Mistwood ruins, in fact. The reason why this is notable, then, is because it would imply, oh, Mistwood is Aohede. This is the land of their home, and they're dead, so they can't return home, so they're being buried here, where they can at least have sight of their home. And, of course, the fact that the regalia is here tells us, okay, Aohede's a destroyed nation at this point, so they were outside the country, died outside the country, and then because their country is no more anyway, so they decide, let's just have it where you can look at the view of the imagination of what Aohede once was, like this general, like, picturesque image, right? You know, you will never see this yourself. This is, again, notable because Aohede uses a, quote, its treasured sword uses copper. Now, the reason why I'm pointing this out is because the word for copper isn't the normal kanji used for copper, right? It's instead it uses the kanji that spells out the term akagane, which means like red gold, which again, if you look at the actual sword, you're like, okay, it's gold, but it has a reddish tinge to it. Now, you may be thinking, wait a second, I thought reddish tinged gold had to do with the crucible. Well, you would be correct, and that would imply that they are using metal from the Erd Tree relayed to the crucible's power. Well, that seems odd then. Why would you then be so far away from where the Erd Tree and the Crucible would be? Well, if you notice, there's this minor Erd Tree, and we know from the Erd Tree avatars, when they use their little magic incantation thing, that's a Crucible incantation. It uses the Crucible sigil for the old Erd Tree prayers, despite the fact that the avatars are relatively recent. They only appear after they only start appearing after the destruction of the Elden Ring by Marika. They start appearing at the minor Erd Trees then, because again, there's this huge, Erd Tree going self-preservation mode, so all its little children across the land start spawning these avatars to help protect them. But again, it tells us the idea that despite the fact that these avatars are new, they draw on power from this minor Erd Tree, which is rooted in the Crucible, which makes sense, because again, the idea is that when the Crucible disappeared, the Erd Tree released these seeds, feeling its own mortality, which spread around and created the minor Erd Trees in the first place. So again, we have this idea that these seeds, which became the minor Erd Trees, have at least some residual power of the Crucible inside them, which again, notice how the Mistwood Ruins is right across from this minor Erd Tree, as if it was built purposefully nearby it. Probably not a coincidence how close they are. On top of that, it's right next to the Shifra River Well. Now, if you may recall, the Shifra River Well gets you access to the ancestral follower spirits that are down here, below Nokron and stuff. Why do I point that out? Because the ancestral follower spirits give us into the idea of the willpower and the spirit, the soul, all that, which relates to Aohede, which learns how to imbue, they learned how to infuse items that they can manipulate using only their will, right? They use essentially the power of the mind, the spirit, the soul, in order to manipulate items without having to physically touch them, right? So as we see with their special art that the Aohede natives utilize. Now, they're also famous for being solitary ascetics. Again, the idea of an ascetic. Now, normally this term for ascetic specifically refers commonly to like mountain ascetics or something like that, or maybe, but it can also be used for stuff like like traveling monks who are like they practice this like sort of asceticism in Buddhism and Confucianism and things of that nature, which involves them like traveling around mountains and fields and stuff like that. So again, it's most commonly used with mountains, but it's not strictly the case per se, right? So like compare like Archdragon Peak ascetics to the ones that we're talking about here. But the point is that Mistwood Ruins is in fact the Aohede. They're proudly solitary sort of meditators, right? They're doing this solid meditation stuff, which again ties into the whole idea of Aohede dealing with like the arcane, the knowledge of gods, the cosmos, that type of heady mental stuff up above in the sky. In order to infuse the power of the spirit. And they use the reason why the regalia is their treasured sword is because it used the power of this red gold metal to forge a weapon that acts as a conduit to help them with using this. So they're using the power of the Erd Tree, which again comes from the Elden Ring, which comes from the Greater Will, which again ties into the arcane as one of the gods and all that, right? So it ties into this divine power, which they meditate to have better art sensitivity to these arcane forces, so which they can use that that power infused from this Erd Tree in order to perform things that they sort of studied or were inspired by from the Shifa Riverwell, right? And that's my that's sort of my take on the Aoheed at this point. Anyway, let's see. Going down to Platy. Maybe they were just jailed as a part of Godfrey's conquest. That is at the end of the jail. That is at the end of the jail cave. The thing is, Platy, is that the jail cave. It's clear that this is not part of the formal jail cave, or at the very least, it likely predates it becoming the jail cave, because the jail cave is very informal, and where we are at happens to be a very informal part of the cave we have to drop down to reach. So I don't think this is part of the cave, especially when you consider that it seems like the reason why our friendly neighborhood, as you can see here, our friendly neighborhood, Vulgar Militia, the reason why they haven't actually been able to get here is because there is a mad gladiator who's guarding this way. Like, this seems to be where he's decided to reside. Now, I don't know if the gladiator has anything connected. Like, is he an Aoheed native that became forced into the arenas or something like that? Maybe, I don't know. But at the very least, this tells me that this was likely established probably before the jail cave became the jail cave. Here. Anyway, and then, yes, world building. 90 pages, just one arrow, the misery, the lovely, lovely misery. Yeah, exactly. It's gonna take me, yeah, I'm 30 pages in, and I'm like a third of the way through, so like when I get done with the whole thing, it's probably gonna be close to 100 pages. Wouldn't be surprised. Shield4 and Aho both use, Arc. Both use Arc? What do you mean by that, Platy? Can you, clarify what you mean? Again, if it has to do with the linguistics between them, I don't know. Maybe Shifra and stuff is Gaelic words. Actually, I'm not familiar on that front. I can't remember where Ainsel and Shifra come from linguistically. But anyway, that sort of gives me an idea of like, okay, that explains it. Now, if you also recall, the idea with Aoheed is it's a small country. This would be a very small area, obviously. And again, we know from past things with Dark Souls, the idea of countries being like city-states is nothing new. So this would be like a micro-state. And also, the term for a small country is the same term for a small province that feudal lords like Kenneth Haight rule over. So, like, if Kenneth has control of this area, right? Like, this is Kenneth's province, quote-unquote, that he controls. This is his holding. And we know that because, obviously, he comes in conflict with, what's-his-face? Godric, right? So Godric and his forces, right? And then you got the blood-obsessed one that attacks Fort Height and all that. So that's probably why Mistwood Ruins is a ruin, by the way. They obviously are attacking and going after Kenneth and stuff, right? So it's clear that, like, Kenneth wasn't, like... He basically held out as, like, an independent little party on Limgrave until Godric moved in, right? So, yeah, the idea is, like, okay, all of it really kind of supports this being Aoheed and explains a whole heckin' lot. Because you have the idea that the Banished Knights basically come in. They come in, they take over Mistwood, they build Fort Height, then they're obviously moving on to Kalar stuff. Then later, Godfrey comes in, and he's like, okay, I'm going to take you guys, right, and then take Fort Height. And as we know with Godfrey, as we see, if he's not killing you, he's likely going to recruit you and force you into military service with him. So that explains a lot about the Aoheed culture and why we see them. Obviously, they have their sword, but they're supposed to be ascetics. So their things should be very much more spiritual and religious, not like fighting and stuff, especially if their whole thing is about being solitary. If you're trying to be this solitary nation, you're not going to be going out and trying to pick fights with other people. You want to kind of be like, you know, be alone. Hence why you pick Mistwood, a place where there's nothing here except mist to get you lost in and rune bears to kill you when you get lost in it. So it's the perfect place if you want to kind of be isolated from everybody else, right? But as we can see here, with like they have their own armor and shields and things of that nature. And hello? There we go. Oh, no, that's the wrong one. There we go. We can kind of see how the shield here has the... There we go. We can see how the shield here has the image of knights and people fighting and stuff like that, which again, all kind of makes a lot of sense in the context of they've been drafted into service by Godfrey, who, again, you can see the axe talisman, which, again, makes mention of how people who followed Godfrey would, like, you know, mimic him by using axes and stuff. So it's like, okay, this is the idea when Godfrey's army's coming through, some of them use axes. There's also a chest with a smithing stone, which tells us, okay, they're taking smithing stone from the local area, you know, like the Dragonburnt Ruins, which was used to get smithing stone, like, from here or whatever, and they're trying to... they're using that in order to make themselves their own equipment, you know, their own weapons and armor and things so they can attack, right? Like, so all of it comes together that way. Let's see, where are we going? Chosen Undead, good to see you. Oracular bubble spells and Aeokite stuff both require... Oh, when you're saying arc, you mean arcane. Okay, Platty. I did not... My brain didn't pick up. I'm thinking, like, rune arcs, and I'm like, wait, arc? Rune arcs? Like, what do you mean? Like, it does not compute. Like, I'm sorry, Platty. I'm sorry for being stupid. But yeah. Yeah, there is also the just general connection between the arcane stuff because of not just the fact that there's the spirit stuff here, but also, like you said, as soon as you go down the well, there's the ruins of the ancient dynasty with the arcane bubbles. Like, so there's a bunch of like influence that would explain it by saying, okay, there happened to be a Shiofra River well already here. A minor Erd tree popped up, so this is post Crucible, and then again, this is a frontier, so it's an area that's a remote region. Not many people are populating here. It seems to be the biggest populations were down here, with all the pagans, right? The Ailing village, this settlement, and this settlement right here. This one with the guilty shield, and this one with the like angel scythe thing. And then obviously Caelid, there's Summon Water Village, and then there's the highway. That's just a generic highway. It doesn't use much. We talked about that in last earlier stream about it's mostly a generic tiling. Very few, like, there's a few parts that have been we could say like repaired using Erd tree tiling, which makes sense after Godfrey captures this region. Then Radagon's reign's probably like, hey, gotta use maintenance for this age of prosperity we got here. But anyway, you got the highway from Summon Water Village all the way to Celia, so we know that this area was likely a huge connection point, right? And then there's, of course, the Keelum, which was likely, you know, set up in the middle and stuff like that. But otherwise, this area seems to have been mostly empty. So you can just imagine that, like, one or two people happen to find, you know, this little setup here. They just stumble upon it. They get inspired. They start developing their thing, and then they suddenly become this little isolated settlement of ascetics who are trying to practice the ways of manipulating objects through the Force or whatever, right? So then that becomes Aeohid. All right, so moving up, arcane. Yeah, arcane stats. So, claim and sorceries. Anyone know if Verizon provided 5G coverage in Caelid? I somehow doubt it, Chosen Undead. I somehow doubt it. And then, it's so weird to imagine these small regions to have even smaller subregions that serve as the homes of a number of tribes and clans. I'm used to things being generally more spread out. Nonetheless, this is unbelievably fascinating. Godfrey supports the draft. Godfrey's all about the fighting. He's like, he respects you only if you also fight for him, right? So, got this giant-ass church, huh? Yeah, so that was, like, my big, like, eureka moment, right, when I was working on this, because my first thought was, like, wait, why Fort Height? Like, it all sprang from me being like, okay, yeah, so they capture all this down south, and then they go east, and they go through, and they build a bridge so they get to Summon Water Village, so they have their, like, jumping off point again to Caelid, right? But then they build Fort Height over here in the middle of nowhere. It's like, what? What? And then when I started thinking about, like, oh, then the only reason to get Fort Height would be to oversee this town, which means this town would have to already have existed then. But then if it existed, then what was its purpose and point then? At that point, like, why did they settle a town here? Well, there's this stuff here doing there. Oh my god, with the Aeohid stuff pointed here. Oh! And, like, you know, I just fell down the rabbit hole and it just all clicked. Anyway, so I just shared my my shower thoughts there. Again, sorry guys to always distract you with this stuff. I hope it's interesting. A similar thing happened to me with the Celia Everjail just before we started streaming. Because again, I talked about how obviously going into Caelid now, I don't know if this Shack of the Rotting and the Forsaken Ruins already existed by this point or not, but whether or not they did, we have the Keelum Ruins, which again, Keelum probably was already around. Yeah, Fort Feroth. Oh, it's with one R, not two. Whoops, I gotta correct my doc for that. Whoopsie. I keep thinking like Pharaohs. Because of the... Yeah, I keep thinking of Pharos in Dark Souls 2, and then I'm like, no, they call it a different name. It's Pharoth, so it's one R and a TH. Gotcha, I gotcha. Anyway, so you got, Fort, Pharoth here, which basically only serves to... Yeah, which basically only serves to be close to Farum Azula, right? Which makes sense. It's like, hey, we want to be there to help defend Farum Azula if it ever gets attacked from this side, so we will build a fort here, right? That makes sense. And then you have Fort Gale, which has oversight of the entire east, so like anyone in Fort Gale could automatically tell everyone else about, oh, it's like, oh no, Godfrey's army is coming, or something, right? Like, you basically, they can survey all of East Limgrave in order to monitor for everyone else to be ready for an attack to coming in, right? And then, again, Keelam, again, Caelid Waypoint Ruins probably, again, by the fact that it's a, just the way the term waypoint means in Japanese, it's probably was government established during Radagon's era. Or, I guess it could be during Godfrey's era, but it would have to be, obviously, when Godfrey's obviously in the middle of his, battles here. Anyway, so, Fort Gale gets established, Fort Pharoth get established, this probably gets captured, again, if this existed already, sure, this probably was being occupied as well. You obviously have the Church of Dragon Communion being, the cathedral specifically, sorry, being built here, which again, makes sense, because you have this cathedral here, because it's so close to Farum Azula now, so instead of building a regular-ass church on the west side, you build the whole-ass cathedral, and then, of course, you have over here the actual, control of Celia. You have the Celia Gateway, which is identical to Stormgate. Over here, right down to including a Erdtree crest at the top of the gate, right? And then you have the Swamp Lookout Tower right above it. You can only access the Swamp Lookout Tower going through the gateway going through the Celia Gateway ramparts up there, right? So you have that Swamp Lookout Tower, which gives you, again, it's just the tower, unlike the towers we talked about earlier. There isn't any walled ruins or ruined walls or anything to tell you, oh, there was like maybe a little fort here. No, there's no fort here. The only concern is they want the lookout tower, because then you can see all of this with the highway, right? Like all of the surrounding Caelid. So that way, again, much like Fort Gale, it's like, hey, we need to be able to know what's happening over in the distance so we can prepare accordingly, right? So that tower's there. You can only access it by going through the ramparts up there, and the ramparts can only be accessed by by climbing up the mountain from Celia, right? Like, Celia has this back way, you climb up the mountain, you go all the way around across the valley in order to get in there, right? So, again, we have this very clear indication that all of this was built by the Banished Knights. And again, as I was pointing out earlier with the Erdtree crest, as you can see, this is the same thing at Stormgate. This is also very similar to what we see at, what's it called, Caria Manor. Again, if you guys recall... Actually, did I mention this in my other stream? Again, in case I forgot to mention it, Caria Manor is also Banished Knight. It's a Banished Knight castle. It's the castle that Renala attacked with her Glintstone Knights in order to establish her house as royalty, right? So, like, Banished Knights from the plateau come down, they build Caria Manor. All these gateways in Caria Manor are the same Norman-style castle. The Gothic stuff likely came after when the Carians came in, and the actual gateways all have Erdtree crests above them, just like here with the Celia Gateway and Stormgate. So it's, okay, they all came from the plateau with the Erdtree and all that, right? These Farum Azulan colonists from the plateau come down, they establish the castle, trying to make the inroads into capturing and conquering Liurnia. Then Renala gets everyone at the academy united behind her, because she's proving herself, her heroism with her moon sorcery. The academy's charmed by her moon sorcery. They unite behind her as their leader. She leads her Glintstone Knights in capturing Caria Manor, and then she basically says, this is mine now, we're now royalty. Which also explains the graveyard that's, like, right here, because this is the graveyard from when the Banished Knights were sieged, and this is where they were burying their dead, which is separate, of course, from the royal family graveyard, which was established outside here of the manor, right? So, all of it's connected, right? So Celia basically gets occupied by them, and obviously to help secure the occupation, Redmane Castle gets built. So again, we can kind of see how the Stormveil really spread out, right? And this all happened because Farum Azula is distracting the Erdtree capital. So Godfrey can't be sending people all the way down to deal with this problem on the frontier. Like, it's, again, the problem is a rebellion in the frontier colony. They can't deal with all this yet, because they're too busy dealing with the ancient dragons. Once the ancient dragons are dealt with, and Farm Azula, well, we see what happened to Farm Azula. Once Farm Azula is no longer a problem, then Godfrey could be like, okay, I gotta now prepare my army, you know, lick my wounds, you know, we gotta get ourselves re-prepared so we can start marching all the way down here, which is why we see the reaction up here. Well, again, this conflict tells us there was conflict at Lascar when they finally got here, but anyway, the point is we see how probably Purified Ruins got occupied. Again, another tower, again, looks like the remains of a fort based on the walls that are left standing still there. So it's like, okay, there was a small... Actually, I can't remember if this one has the... Let me double check. I can't remember if this one has the walls or not. Maybe not. I think it might just be the tower. My guy, that's a shower novel. Again, I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so into this right now when I'm working on Godfrey's Reign that I just love talking about all this crap, because this is so new for Dark Souls, right? Like, we've never had the ability to use a map in order to actually map out things to this level of detail in terms of battle lines and conflicts and where people and how populations are spreading and moving around, right? Like, this is what I find the most interesting part of Elden Ring lore. No, it's just, okay, there's no remaining walls here. Okay. Yeah, I misremembered. I was thinking this tower is like, this tower. This tower up here. This is the tower with the walls that tells, okay, there was a small fort here that was overseeing Dominula, which again makes sense, but then Godfrey came during the Unification Wars and captured this, and then obviously we know this is how the Banished Knights became, well, Banished Knights, and became part of the Stormvale Penal Colony, right? So, anyway, so we can see how the Banished Knights and the Stormvale peeps started building a lookout tower here so they can have oversight of all this at the Academy Gate Town. And we can also see from these graveyards here, which is guarded by a ancient dragon cult knight. So you have a Knight of Langdell who's part of the ancient dragon cult casting their lightning incantations, right? So this is post-ancient dragon war, which tells us, oh, okay, these are graveyards from battles that occurred on here during the ancient dragon war, which again makes sense. You have all your You build the tower here at this choke point, and then you have all the knights and people go up here, because now they have a vantage point all along this upper cliff area. So if anyone from the Academy Gate Town tries to come in and attack, you could just pelt them with arrows, right? And it makes sense. Godfrey's army then probably decided to go from Gate Town. Again, we know how there's an Erdtree highway that was built into Lascar, and likely went from Lascar to the Purified Ruins and tried to attack from behind, right? There may have been a pincer move. There may have been like, okay, we'll put some people to distract them up here while we actually go from behind, right? But in the end, as we can see, it was, okay, we destroy this tower, so this is done. And then we have our supply route. We can go back here. So now the Banished Knights are trapped, and it just becomes a meat grinder, right? You just have to slowly inch yourself forward and be like, okay, we grind him down here, grind him down here, grind him down here, and well, no more Banished Knights. Like they're basically trapped and cornered, and it's pigs to the slaughter. And then of course, the highway keeps on going up till here, because obviously, rather than being stupid and trying to cross this bridge in order to make your way to the front of Stormvale, which is what the enemy would want, because this is a beautiful place to try to just, you know, imagine trying to cross your entire army across, like, your enemy's obviously gonna destroy you here, right? Like, this is the most protected area in order to get to Stormvale. So instead of doing that, you go through the Lascar Ruins, again, through Lascar, you march up this way in order to get and attack Stormvale from behind. Hence why we see the conflict here. And then as we can see, there was ultimately the conflicts up here, where the Church of Aerith would ultimately be built, right? So, and obviously there's the graveyards here too by the cliffs and stuff like that. So all of this, plus the graveyard here with Godric's forces, right? And these are all pagan graves from the flat top. So like, yeah, this is where Godfrey's big battle that culminated with his duel with the Storm Lord took place. Hey, Iman, just wanted to say hello. Yes, Loki, yes! Feel the Elden Ring law. Come to the Elden side of the Souls law. Good night, Iman. And John, you're just there, like, rubbing your hands in the corner, like, all evilly, right? Like your hood in the shadows, like, yes, it's working, just as I had foreseen. I live for these ramblings. Well, thanks, Adolphus. So are the burning stone gates there to keep the rot from growing further? Yes, chaotic. Like the opposite of how stoned in a ring around a campfire is meant to control the spread of the fire. Yeah, the idea seems to be that the fire... Obviously, they're set on fire, but it seems to be the idea of, okay, first you have the smoldering church, which seems to have built the ones here. And the other ones extend from Fort Gale. If I recall correctly, the walls go... Yeah, oh, yeah. The walls go from Fort Gale here, right? So they go from Fort Gale all the way up here to Fort Faroth. Now, obviously, in modern times, Fort Faroth is controlled by, and Fort Gale are controlled by Radahn's forces, right? We know that they occupy these forts. So the idea is like, okay, we create this barrier, which will help contain the entirety of the rot. Spoiler alert, it didn't work. It didn't work at all. Anyway, so that's all done. Anyway. Woo! Yeah, now we can see how there's this sorcerer who went rogue and has turned all the people he killed by backstabbing them into puppets. Again, as you can see, to go into this point, not only is it like a quote-unquote Norman-style fort, again, I've used the term Romanesque in the past, but I'm going to stick to Norman because, one, it's shorter, and two, I think it gives you more of the feel of, like, the British-style castle. I think Romanesque can help you mistake it for a bunch of other type of, because, like, technically, like, the Byzantinian-style architecture in Langdell is Romanesque, I believe. Again, I'm no expert, but that's my understanding. So I'm like, I really don't want to confuse people with that, because that's a specific kind of architecture that's different from what I'm talking about here. So I use Norman because, you know, I'm talking about, like, British castle-style stuff. You know, the generic, medieval English look that we are all familiar with. Stop it. Ow! I know. I get you. Anyway. Notice closely how we have a bunch of Banished Knight swords and stuff, despite the fact this is occupied by the sorcerers and things. You can see their weapons, and then you can, of course, can see their shields, right? So, like, normally, if you see, when I see, like, just the, like, sometimes there's, like, some, like, weapon, I don't know, what do you call them? Weapon, not hangers, but, what did you call these things? Weapon stands? That, like, store, like, a bunch of, like, spears, right? It stores, like 50 spears or something, like, all of them, like, lined up and stuff. When I see that by itself, I usually pay it no mind, right? I'm not gonna be like, oh, no, these are Banished Knights were here because it uses the same spear model. I pay attention to this stuff. Like, this is something where it's like, okay, this is too iconic to kind of ignore as a detail. Same thing with here, when you see these swords specifically and stuff. Like, these are things that are just too specific. You can't just be like, oh, it's vague. And so far, that's worked for me beautifully. I can place Banished Knights in the at an appropriate point in the timeline whenever these are done, as I've just established. But you see these in most of the forts or lookout towers that we explore, so... So that, combined with the architectural similarity, is why you can see me connecting them to the history of the Banished Knights, either on the plateau or later at Stormvale. Weapon racks. Racks! That's the word! Thank you, Xavier. Thank you. Yeah, Langdell is Langdell is Romanesque. Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm like, I don't want to use that term because it's like, oh yes, it's this Romanesque manor as opposed to the Romanesque city. It's like, no. I'm talking about like, so I use the term Norman instead. So that's how I'm going to distinguish it in the future when I want to kind of specify this kind of architecture versus say other kinds of architecture that might still be from a similar period or something like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I also have to expand my stuff here, because it's like, okay, there's this church here, there's this, they call it a sanctuary, but the term really is cathedral. This is a cathedral, which, again, makes sense, you know, right before America's bedchamber and stuff. Like, there's a lot of stuff I have to clean up in my, my doc when it comes to the specifics to Langdell's development. I also think I might have identified Marika and Radigan/Godfrey's home when they were not, you know, when they were not living/vacationing at the fortified manor. Okay, but oh my God, you piece of. We're leaving. We're going. We're leaving. Norman has smaller, says tighter windows and more conservative architecture. Romanesque is more gaudy and flamboyant with arches and steeples. Yeah, yeah. From what I understand, they are at least from what the lore hunter was explaining when I was watching some of his videos or stuff. He seemed to conflate the two, but from what I could find independently, it seemed like there was enough differences and stuff that I was like, again, I didn't want to make it where these categories were so broad, were being used so broadly that I would be confusing you guys. So that's why I'm switching my terminology in the future. Yeah, God, weapon racks. I cannot believe I did not think of that term. My brain. I'm sorry, chat. I can rant, but I can't think. They thought they were being clever with their firewall, but it turned out to be McAfee. That's good. Okay. Who else do we want to chat with? Let's go say hi to EG. Let's go say hi to EG, chat. It's more like good morning. It's almost 6 a.m. Oh my god, I'm in. Good morning. I don't know how that happened.
Oh, there you are. Good of you to drop by. Have you heard? Lady Rani has departed on her journey. Along the dark path of Empyrean. From it would not have been possible.
Sorry.
You.
I was trying to jump.
As Lady Rani's war counselor, and moreover, her childhood warden, I express my deepest gratitude. You and only you were Lady Rani's true champion.
Imagine having EG as your babysitter. Like, that must have been terrifying. Like, Ronnie's, like, little 6-year-old girl, and she's got this guy babysitting her. Like, woo!
I presume you've spoken with Blythe? Very well.
I almost forgot he was in the Ever Jail.
You should know. The Two Fingers gave Blythe to Lady Rani as a faithful follower. Her very shadow.
Basically, Norman equals built for utilitarian purposes, and Romanesque equals show off how much wealth you have, / praising God with intricate detail.
Resists being an instrument of
Yeah, exactly why I'm going to try to focus on using Norman for, again, these simpler, you know, basic English castle looks, right?
a horrid curse. But such is his destiny. In such matters, Blythe's own thoughts hold no weight. It pains me so. But he must be neutralized. For Lady Rani's sake.
I can't remember, guys. Can we save Blythe, or like I guess my question should be, if we can save Blythe, is there any like downside if we do, like, what's the best route that we should be doing here if I want to do like all the content or get as much items as possible for the Let's Play, I guess is what I'm asking.
My purpose is nearing its end.
Hello, Chosen Undead.
Served Lady Rani.
I have to head out, but great stuff, Loki, as always. Can't wait for you to do more books with TNF. Hope you do a dedicated video to Ronnie. I definitely want to see your take on her.
Lady Rani is in your hands.
I have so much stuff I want to do with my YouTube channel, and I had to put it on the back burner in part because of Elden Ring this month. Like, or rather last month. Last month, like, it was like so much Elden Ring was consuming my schedule. I was like, but I really am into doing this thing for Elden Ring. And then the other thing is stupid Bloodborne because of Healing Church. Like, editing Healing Church has been so difficult. I can't remember if other trolls have stuff like this on them. Like these little, like, growth stuff on their legs. Makes you wonder. EG, did you go through the Lake of Rot? EG, were you over in the rot? Again, I don't remember if other trolls have this or not, or if this is unique to him. If you don't do Ronnie's quests, Blythe and EG live. Well, too late for that, Pastor. Ronnie's quest is done. Forlorn Hound Ever Jail. I think you can. Yeah, I know where he is. I'm just curious. You can free him from the jail. He winds up in the same place whether you release him or not. Okay, let's free him anyway then. Let's get this over with. Blythe! Let's put you in the place where your friend used to be locked up. It's very ironic how that kind of turned out this way. Again, going back to my point about the, going back to my point I made on the graves and all that, you can see how similarly Godfrey's march down south was, fraught with, troubles, right? So, like, this stuff, okay, this makes sense when he's going eastward, right? He has to capture Fort Height, so it's like, okay, you got the graves here. There's the graves on the wall plus the coffins here. You got the graveyard behind the actual Aohede ruins, right? And then you have, like, some graves here. So it's like, okay, we're going to go through the Mistwood, through the side here, and we'll try to get, right? Like, instead of, like, maybe taking the main road or whatever, right? You could easily see how this all turned out that way, right? But then you have, like, before that, though, was the march down south, right? And you got, like, graves, 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 graves! It's like, oh, wow. Godfrey really had to push with his army to go all the way down to Castle Morn, huh? That was quite the experience. You get more dialogue from EG if you release him. Okay, that's good enough for me. Is there any lore on who built the jails, the Ever jails? I have not thought about it whatsoever, though if I had to take a blind guess, I would say the ancient civilization that made the golems. Again, I have nothing really to back up that belief really, other than the fact that I assume that both of them are both of them are made by people from incredibly ancient times, well before the stuff that I'm talking about for my doc with Godfrey's era. But that's about it. Wait. Oh, I think Blythe freed himself already. Yep. I think Blythe's already free. Someone pointed out in the Elden Ring chat that Nefeli's axes have the weird tentacle pattern that Godfrey's axe has. Yes, I pointed that out in the doc as well. If you read the doc, I mentioned that very briefly when I'm talking about the Stormhawk thing. Because, okay, I forget where... Because okay, so you get the Stormhawk axe here in Stormvale, I think. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure you get it somewhere in Limgrave, but I can't remember where. I believe it's in Stormvale, though. Obviously, Nefeli uses it, but this, like, Nefeli's from the Badlands, and they have something similar going, and I'm gonna talk about how it traces all back, right? So you get them here in the Fortified Manor, where where Horalu became Godfrey and received his axe in the first place, likely from Sirash and the Banished Knights and people who were assimilating here, right? So this makes sense. So Stormhawk axe, okay, that's here, makes sense. Stormhawk axe, like I said, in Stormvale. Also up here in Castle Sol. Castle Sol also has a Stormhawk axe. Because again, there's Stormhawks there, there's Banished Knights and Exile Soldiers here, right? So they're all part of that culture, right? Also, again, this hasn't been decided yet, chat, but I'm also reaching the point where I think the graveyard here, with, King, where, like, there was King Enshi and, like, all the golden bone skeletons here, I think they are the remnants of the Sun Capital that existed, I believe, here before Langdell did. Again, I have not, like, developed that thought at all yet, but this is, like, that's, like, my initial hypothesis that I'm going to be looking into, because I'm probably going to have to add it to the earlier parts of the doc before the Castle Morn stuff. Because originally, I kind of ignored it. I kind of ignored this graveyard because I'm like, oh, I'll talk about it when I get to the Siege of Morn anyway, and I can, like, retroactively talk about, like, Godfrey, like, killing this guy's entire clan here. But I'm starting to think, no, I think we need to, I think it might be relevant if I talk about it in the earlier stuff. Or maybe not, we'll see. Put Blythe down. Okay, so where would we find Blythe? Ronnie's Tower? Like, that'd be the thing I'd assume. I assume if he's escaping and he hasn't gone to EG to be like, EG, you son of a bitch! that he has to be going to Ronnie. Wait a second. Can't we do... Someone said I can talk to Ronnie here. Nope. The Sun Capital? Yeah, there's a mention of a capital on the sun on Aishi. Oh. Ah! I got too close! Blythe, no! Blythe, you've been attacked! Oh, right, because this is when Smotown mentioned, I remember now. Smotown mentioned how there was, Black Knife Assassins who went after Blythe. Imagine being Black Knife Assassins, you want revenge on Ronnie for, like, basically stabbing you in the back after she was telling you how to stab Godwin in the back and all the other demigods. And, like, you get there too late. By the time you get there, she's gone, and all that's left is a very, very angry Blythe. Oh. Oh, fancy. You got a little AoE, my friend. Ow. Wait. Oh, they just hit my horse, that's why. Well, bye, Blythe. I'm sorry I didn't get to hear all of your dialogue. I guess I didn't realize getting too close to you would trigger you. My bad. The dog dumb bite, yeah. It's like, whoo! You can tell why Blythe is, basically Ronnie's bodyguard. Alright, now we talk to EG, right? EG! I'm gonna tell EG about Blythe, but I'm not gonna mention the assassins that were surrounding him. The dead assassins. Like, EG, you might want to look out for some, Black Knife assassins.
My fellow, how may I say?
This may have, not turned out the way you'd like if you want to live.
Blacksmith. Unthinkable. How could Blythe? How did he break free from his cell?
Through, sheer willpower.
More importantly, Blythe became a curse that plagued Lady Rani. Yet even in madness, gave himself to her. I've made a grave misjudgment. And I thought myself...
Is it at the end of her quest line? Oh, does that mean after you beat the game?
You soon enough, Blythe. When I do,
You should have one more line of dialogue from EG. Yep, I'm getting that.
accept my apology.
Yeah, EG's all like, uh-oh. EG's basically the whole game is EG basically being like, I am the war counselor. Oh wait, I am her war counselor, and yet I never thought of this. Like that could basically be his catchphrase. Oops, I never thought about that. What if we defeat Radon and then freed the stars? Oh, I never thought about this. Oh, what if Blythe ends up actually having the will to resist becoming even if he becomes a curse to Ronnie? Oh, I never thought about that. Poor EG. Okay. Hello? There we go. Oh, there we go. Yep, there we go. Oh no! Look at all those black flames. And all those assassins. So he killed them, but then he succumbed to the flames they inflicted. Now this is where people start questioning, right? Because it's like, wait a second, don't the assassins use red and black flames from their piece of the rune of... Oh wait a second. EG's bell bearing in his mirror helm. Yay. So then why does he, why does good old EG here, have black and white flames instead of black and red? Which I'm sympathetic to that. They're like, hey, if FromSoft made a mistake, you think they correct it by now, or something like that. I think that's a fair case. Oh wow, I thought these were roots, but they're actually flesh roots. Like, yeah, you can actually tell looking closely here. It's actually part of the skin and stuff that's been exposed. That is, kind of freaky. Alright, I think that's enough screenshots from there. Read his armor. And now let's look at Blythe's armor. Well-worn black cape, black armor of the man-wolf Blythe. The pelt serves as a cape, protecting from cold. Blythe was the blade of Ronnie, but the cold bothered him anyway. Okay. Besides the fact that the localizer clearly has a daughter who watched Frozen. Who loved watching Frozen like 10 times in the theater. Besides that... the point being made is that, Ronnie, of course, uses cold magic, right? Like, her magic revolves around the dark moon, it's ice and cold and all that. So, he's supposed to be Ronnie's blade, right? So, he's supposed to always stand by her, but he still doesn't want to get cold. Like, he's still affected by the cold she uses. So, he's like, okay, I want to have a nice, thick fur, cape, so that way I can withstand the cold. That's what it means. And now sit at the grace. Yeah, and now he's dead. But why the black flame? Yeah, that's the question, Platty. So there's two situations I could think of. One is, of course, the mistake argument. The other would be, okay, maybe the idea is that their black flames are super weak, right? Like, these assassins, unlike some of the others we fight, they don't have black flames that are strong enough to have the red hue. right? Because the idea with the black, because it seems to be the idea is the reason why the godskins have black and white flames is because their flame power used to be stronger, at one point, right? But then after Malekith sealed Destined Death, their flames got weaker, while he, of course, still had the full power of Destined Death sealed in his sword. So then the argument would be, okay, their flames turned black and white then maybe after it got weakened by Malekith sealing Destined Death. If that's the case, then maybe something similar happened with Iji, where the assassins who killed him, their power and their blades, for one reason or another, got weaker. The only other thing I could think of is that their blades themselves were fine, but that the power which affects a troll is different. But I don't know if I can make that the case for that. That's the only other thing I could think of that maybe be like, it's not the blade's problem, it's the composition of what they're trying to burn. What does he have in his chest hole? It seems to be some kind of talisman, right? You can see how it has the Erd Tree cross inside of it, right? So the idea seems to be to eliminate the influence of the fell god. Yeah, to eliminate the influence of the fell god. The original fell god stuff was ripped out, and the tablet was put in its place. What's the tablet for? Again, yeah, that would be my assumption, John. Maybe now check her Chamber's Grace. Black Flames do fire damage. Destined Death deals holy damage, in case you didn't know. Wait, it doesn't do physical? Oh, no, that's Dark Souls. That's what I'm thinking. Right, okay. So Black Flames do fire still. And then the Destined Death stuff does the holy damage. Coolio. So yeah, I wonder if it's a case of the power just gets so weak that the flames now are just flames, and it's no longer just pure Destined Death power. Alright, let's try up here. Alright, one last check at Ronnie's tower. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense in terms of America, because it's like, okay, you're betraying the Giants to join our side, but we want you to all be on the same page with us, right? In terms of no fell god influence, because again, America is trying to, you know, get rid of the fell god as much as she could, and when she realized she couldn't, she's like, okay, save one giant to be the firekeeper of this cauldron here. We need somebody to keep it cold. Yeah, nothing from Ronnie. Yeah, so I guess you have to do her ending, and then you can get the dialogue with her, which, I don't know, chat. Do I want to get the Ronnie ending, or do I want to stick to my love Fia? Gosh, it's so hard, chat. There's little chibi Ronnie, but then there's hugs. Hugs, chat. Hugs! Okay, nothing there, nothing there. Got all that. Oh no, we want to go to Volcano Manor, right? Because there's a lot of stuff we want to pick up here, so let's go here first. When I first saw it, I assumed Ronnie had them killed after the plan was executed, because I was also associating Black Flame and Godskins with Karya. Oh, I see. That's an interesting connection you made there. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, that part I'm not. That part I'm skeptical of. I don't think Ronnie's like this evil who's like, wahaha. Now that I've done everything I've wanted, I'm going to kill the people. Especially after she's like, hey, especially when doesn't she like after you do her like quest be like, hey, can you tell like EG and Blythe like I love them or something like whatever, right? Like. I don't know. I just don't buy it. Call me crazy. I just don't buy it.
It's true then. You've defeated our lord.
Yep.
No. I must thank you.
Ronnie plays. Fia's dead.
Our lord was yet weak.
But chaotic. The body's still warm. We can still have so many hugs.
Our lord is immortal and will one day rise again. Stronger. Until then.
Fia's ending is a generic ending, no special cutscene or anything. Generic achievement for it. Is that so? That definitely is tempting then.
I will leave the Volcano Manor before long.
Okay, good to know.
I suggest you do the same. I will miss these encounters.
Really?
The champion who walks the tainted path shines all the more. I always was and
Oh, because the dialogue talks about her intentions for her ending. She also sounds sad if you hit her after marrying her, I think. Yeah, okay, I have a question. What happens if you attack Ronnie after you quote-unquote marry her in that last part of the quest line? Like, does she, like, disappear? Does she do, like, a magic barrier? Like, how does that all work? I learned recently that Arena does, like, Wrath of Gold or whatever if you attack her, which, by the way, I find absolutely hilarious. The idea that you attack an NPC and they actually hit you back made in Estrella style, that is just
This
chef's
is
kiss.
farewell.
Uh-huh.
Perhaps we will meet again.
Yeah. I guess I'll take a screenshot of this. Just in case that comes up ever again. Hello, Mr. Crucible Knight. I learned in 1.0 you were named a Dorvis. That was rather interesting to think about the lore implications there. Or Dovis or Dorvis, I forget what the exact spelling is. There's of course good old Rykard with all his little family. Look at it. I like how it's like, ah yes, Rykard with his family. Yep, this is exactly how Rykard looks. Yep, nope. 100% accurate artistic depiction. That or possibly, I guess it could also be maybe from sometime before he got the snake himself, but that I don't know, those little hands look a little too iconic to what we see during the blasphemy fight, so. She disappears. Oh. She just disappears, huh? Darn. She gets Thanos dusted and tells you she deserves it. Aww. Aww. It's like you marry her and then you're like, I hate you. Oh. And she's like, yes, you deserve to. Aw, Ronnie, no. My thanks. Okay, that's cool. The ghost guy. He's grateful. Again, I don't know how canon to consider every little interaction or stuff like that. So it's hard to tell what's like just for environmental, like just for the storytelling, right? Like the ghost is obviously grateful after you kill Rykard, or if that's something where it's like, oh no, this is actually like a remnant the ghost left, and you can kind of sense the my thanks or whatever. Either way, it's cool.
So, you killed Rykard.
Also, Loki, if you marry Ron, you get to call Renala Mummy. Mummy.
Strong take.
She says she's disappointed in you. She doesn't get hurt because there's a shield around her. Gotcha. Just emotionally hurt.
He first took blasphemy unto his very flesh. But any road, the volcano manor is no more. Though we may yet fulfill an old promise. We hunted our own kind and took what was theirs. And with everything in hand, the time has come to rise against the Earth Tree.
Now, for those that don't know, Smotown's doing a video on beasts coming soon, and in the course of that, I pointed out to him how the localization actually messed up Bernal's armor. So the armor talks about how it has the beasts covering their eyes and ears, but this is not accurate. You can plainly see the beasts are not doing any sort of eye covering. Instead, rather, we can see how the beasts themselves are covering the eyes and ears of the helmet wearer, which is actually what the Japanese says. It just says the beasts who cover eyes and ears. It doesn't specify if it's their own or not. And again, context tells us, yeah, it's not their own. But that's kind of a cool little detail I want to point out. That will apparently be in Smotown's vid. He apparently especially appreciated that little tidbit, so look forward to seeing that in his upcoming video in a few weeks. Looks like maybe you don't get the sword. That would make sense. Yes, she might not want to gift it after that. She says she's disappointed. That says maybe she deserves it. That she's being hated and all. Yeah, I see. Gonna look for Elimer's shield texture. Please do that, Adolphus. I actually really would like to have just the full-on texture in the Discord so I can pin it. There's a filter over it and a slightly different monologue from the narrator. I see. So basically, you have the same cutscene for generic stuff outside of Ronnie's, and it's like a different narration you get for each of them. Okay, gotcha. Which is why Ronnie's is probably the ending I see most times in videos and stuff, because all the others, all I recall from them is like you sit in the throne. So that tells me, oh, okay. Basically, nothing really changes up beyond that. The lions have wings. Yeah, that's another interesting detail, huh? Lion's got some wings. What about the lion back here? Yeah, they're just all grasping onto here. This one... Oh, this one might have wings too, actually. It's harder to tell, but it blends in with the mane. No, I think this one doesn't have wings. And it looks like it's not the lions that have wings, John. It's just the wings coming out by themselves. Yeah, it's separate from the lion, I think. It's just sort of, they're there. But yeah, you can see the lions here. Lions down here. What's on the shins? Those look more like wolves down there. Oh, I don't remember what his weapon is. I have to double check the description for that yet. Okay. Okay, I think we've covered all that. Yep. Now let's go see Patches. Wings coming out like that remind you of the Misbegotten, maybe a Crucible throwback? Maybe. It could also just be they wanted to reference wings because they have the lions and wolves, so they also want to have the hawks on there, or the birds, right?
Now you've gone and killed Rykard.
Melatonin making me eepy. Good night. Sleep well, Chaotic.
You make this nonsense.
Want to check if I'm right about the unique jellies? We could do that right after this, sure. Sure, Xavier.
Will be Elden Lord after all. But for now, this manor is finished. The demigod beast is slain, and Tanith has lost her head. A fine mess. But how else could it end? When Daddy Ambition's head over heels courting Lady Blasphemy. Well, here I am, untethered once again. Bye, my friend.
I expected you to be a little more beat up about this. You were all into Tanith, but I guess this is just Patches.
Donation to Patches Emporium.
No, I think we're good.
Cheers for that.
Alrighty. Actually, you know what? I think it'd be faster if we did this, right? No, not this church. The other church. The other church! Where is it? There we go. I think this would be faster, right? Next place to find Patches is an outside Elmer's boss room. Gotcha, we'll head there too. Alright, so let's go check out Zariah. Also, we had a weird little glitch there. I don't know what happened with my camera. Is the serpent considered a beast? I guess. Actually, I should ask Smotown if he wants translation stuff for the serpents too. I actually didn't think to ask him. I know it's just going to be beasts in general though, so it'll include like hawks, dragons, but just generally animals. So yeah, maybe snakes will be in there. I need to go back and ask. Because yeah, if you're including beastmen, you should also include snake men, I guess. Nope. Oh, wait.
You've always been so kind and uncompromising.
Excuse me. Yeah, just gotta fix that little problem.
I suppose I knew in my heart of hearts how kind and uncompromising you always were.
You should become the lady of Volcano Manor. Just saying. You'd be great. Your mom's kind of going off the deep end.
Suppose I knew in my heart
Beast the love of the shop.
how kind and uncompromising you always were.
Talk to Patches before killing Tanith. Gotcha.
I suppose I knew him how kind.
I thought you guys said she leaves an item or something, but I guess we have to come back later. Okay, so let's go to see Patches first. The Castle Dining Hall. on. Elden Ring? Elden Ring. Oh no. Uh-oh, chat. I think the game froze. Gosh. Yeah, I think this is frozen. This is, this ain't loading. Yeah, yep, the game just fucking crashed. Yep, it's a crash. The Tarnish, known for their kindness. Yeah, Paul Tyson, welcome on into the chat. Tarnish, I mean, everyone knows, chat. My player character throughout this entire ordeal has been very kind. Just ask all the merchants I've met. I am a very magnanimous Tarnished. I am truly the hero of this story. Come on, game. Come on, game. Ugh. I can't wait to get to Halig Tree, chat, right after we finish all these quest lines. If only because I'm hoping to God Halig Tree's not going to have loading screens that are going to require us to worry about this shit. Oh. Oh. That's one way to do this. Okay. Oh, Volcano Manor doesn't have people anymore, apparently. Good to know. Yeah. Again, sorry for the crash, chat. By the way, please like and subscribe. It always helps the channel. I know you come here for this thrilling thrilling gameplay of me having to restart my game because of a random crash. Random CTD. Ooh, hello there. Surrounded by statues of Malenia? I think some people would be jealous.
I had a bit of a slip up, that's all. I should have stuck to what I know best. No matter. I know I can trust you.
Dude, you do know Elimer's already dead, right? I don't know what you were expecting killed you up here, but whatever. Must have been fate.
It's nothing, it's just makes me sick to see her all bent out of shape. Come on, Tanith, back on your high horse where you belong. You're able then? Then I can rest easy, my friend.
Wow, this has to be the most vulnerable we've ever seen Patches, huh? Alright, chat. Can I kill Patches right now? Will that change anything? I think I vaguely recall someone saying I should kill Patches at this point, but I don't remember. Oh yeah, do the houses here have Celian roofs within the Shaded Castle? Ooh, yes. It looks like they have red roofs, just like in Celia. I think the architect, I think it's the same building, too. That's interesting. It makes me wonder, was Shaded Castle built by the Banished Knights as part of an interaction with the Nox? That these were some Nox from this Eternal City down here who came up, and they ended up having a settlement here that the Banished Knights would build around? That's an interesting thing to think about. It's, let's see. It's why people thought he was actually faking it here. I think you can kill him. Gotcha, Joel. Within the Shaded Castle walls. It will change things. She shows up again at Murkwater. Okay, then we won't. We'll leave him alive. Let's see. Murkwater? Yep. Okay, so let's go this way. Let's check that out real quick. Again, gotta remember. We want to check out the jellyfish over here. We did the Zarias thing, so we're good. I assume Volcano Manor doesn't have anything left over for me to pick up. I assume we just need to go to Tanith's area, which is here. Oh, that's right, you're here. Ah. Oh, worth noting, it seems like these gardens have had Erd Tree tiling added. Just wanted to point that out. Oh, you know what? A consideration I never took into account? Because I assume these were made by the Farm Azula colonists at Wyndham, right? Another idea we could think of, this might be a product of the Nox and Godfrey's army, that they built the castle themselves, and that this wasn't controlled by the Banished Knights originally, but it was built by the Banished Knights who agreed to, you know, who became the penal colonists and or agreed to assimilate for Godfrey's order. That's an interesting possibility to think of, so I'll have to explore that too now. See if I need to revise my dock in any way. But yeah, I think these are the same rooftops that you see in Celia and Langdell. Oh, wait. Okay, you're not killing me right now, so... Oh my gosh. Alrighty. Because we know this is Erd Tree burial, right? So this is not pagan burial. Ooh, yeah, yeah. I just assumed Shaded Castle was already existing, was part of the conquest, but no, it might be the other way around. Might be that Godfrey and folks, knowing that they need a base to attack from, built the castle in the corner there. So they built the Shaded Castle here, and then mounted their attack on the Lux, and then Wyndham from there, and of course made their way up to Volcano Manor. Because I was always curious about the lack of a graveyard outside of here, but yeah, that now explains a lot, because there wasn't actually a big conflict here outside of the castle from a siege or anything. Oh, this hurts. But first, before we do that, let's again double check things. Take a screenshot here. I'm not seeing any of the windows that we see in Langdell. Just this, and I don't know if these this exact building was used there. So again, might not quite. Oh, might not exactly be the same. I want to do that here. And then, is there any other building we... Oh, gosh, I can't use my horse here, that's right. This is the pain about this area. It's stupid to navigate. No. Oh my god, give up. Give up! Let's see. Hey, Night Scout, good to see you. Anything else from Plenty? Oh, hey, Lou Reed, good to see you. He disappeared for me when I didn't kill him. Oh, I'm about to go check. Okay, so gonna check if he's actually at the cave. There we go. All right, one last thing we want to quickly check out. Oh, this is gonna hurt. Yep, that hurt. Quick, gather surroundings. Is it really Erd Tree burial without the deep catacombs and confirmed Erd Tree roots? Where does a regular burial end? Well, as far as we can see, regular burial seems to, at least in my experience, only occur in the context of the Erd Tree, right? We have the ancient dynasties who do ground burials, quote unquote. And the ancient dynasties themselves seem to revolve or seem to exist in sort of the precursor stage of the Erd Tree showing up because of the roots and all that. And then, of course, the people on the plateau, and from there, regular burials seem to grow out. But yes, I would say there's too many examples That was close. That was almost a loss of a lot of runes that I have to farm. Oh. Reminder chat, I hate this. I hate dogs. I love dogs, but I hate dogs in video games. Anyway, moving down. So again, we got the flower-topped graves over there. We don't care about you. We don't care about you either. Oh, alright. Alright, I can't move. Celia maybe? Not sure about Langdell. When we're talking about Langdell, Joel, we're talking about the lower quarter in Langdell, so... when I can access my map again. Oh my god, when I can access my map again! Please. Please save me. Why? Why? Oh. Why do we have to suffer through all this? Come on, stop it, you stupid corpses. Stop aggroing me. No. Excuse me. Pardon me. Yeah, we only get to really see the top of the buildings, and I don't remember if these tops are perfectly in line with what we see elsewhere. Let's just take a general shot here, see if anything looks familiar. Ow! Woo! That's the wrong... No, you stupid! There we go. There we go. Alright, I'm leaving this castle. Oh, God. Help me leave this castle. Ah! God, I can't wait for Haley Tree to be even worse than this. Yeah, okay. Woo! I'm out! I'm free! I'm away from this hell. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, okay, so when I'm talking about the buildings with similar rooftops, we're talking about these here, see? These are the golden top buildings. These are different. We're talking about these buildings here. These buildings are identical to the ones we see in Celia. I'm not sure, though, if they're the same as what we see here. So, before we go check on patches, Gowry's here. We don't care about Gowry. Aight, fixing to head out. See ya, Adolphus. What I mean is, once the Erdtree is around, if the catacombs aren't needed to define Erdtree burial, wouldn't every burial be an Erdtree burial, even when unintended? Well, again, Night Scout, you're presupposing that regular ground burial exists, if not for the Erdtree. And what I'm saying is, it seems that the only reason that there's a culture of burying people in the ground is because of the Erdtree. Like, that's the reason why, right? Because before, in, like, pagan times, most burials seem to be, like, either Far Missoula type things, where they kind of do, like, it's not really a ground burial, right? It's more like almost a display kind of burial. Again, Smotown's going to be apparently talking about that in his most recent video, so I'm interested in seeing what he has to say on that front. His Beast video, apparently he made some good breakthroughs that I'm going to be very interested in seeing. Then there's the cremation done by the Deathbirds and stuff like that. So, like, ground burial seems to generally be, like, a true, like, I stick you in the ground seems to only be because of Erdtree roots and stuff like that. That's why I'm saying, like, yeah, I think all of it's Erdtree burial. And we see enough cases where the graves that we see are placed outside, like, just outside or alongside catacombs and things. That's very clear that's all, like, connected. The only thing I think you could be kind of, you can kind of argue on the fence about is when it comes to, like, those coffins, right? You find the collection of coffins on the ground, and those aren't, like, the same thing to the same extent. Though, to be fair, you could say the same thing with catacombs, because, like, it's not like most catacombs involve the bodies being in the ground or anything like that either, right? Because it's like, yeah, they're underground, but, like, the catacombs have, like, their special, like, you know, stone little placements they put the coffins in, so... Like, it's only really the ones in the main burial chamber they are, so, like, you can maybe make an argument there, but I think that's the only area where you could be like, this one's kind of a weird case. At least in Sekiro, Miyazaki made some dogs that aren't horrible, abominable creatures. That's an interesting thing to think about. All right, did you guys notice anything too different about these buildings? So these are ruins, we don't care. We didn't see any of these windows here, which is what I was kind of hoping we would see when we were looking through here. I don't remember this architecture either. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Yeah, these look like these are distinctly different style from those we see in Celia. Yeah, even the tips here. Yeah, this stuff's different too. Yeah, so it looks like the building's using Shaded Castle. I have to question, are they used anywhere else? Maybe they're Academy Gate Town stuff? That's the only other thing I can think of. Okay, so definitely not Nox being there. They're different buildings for sure. Yep. Thank you. Yeah, I get you. Whatever. Oh my god. I hate you. Thank you. Thank you for just letting me rest. I was afraid you wouldn't. Okay. Let me quickly check. Oh no, wait. Well, while we're here, we want to check this out. So, those metal plates in the window are reminiscent of the things you saw in Noxtella. Oh, which things are you mentioning, Night Scout? Nothing's ringing a bell off the top of my head. Again, pagan graves, which again makes sense because Banished Knight facility here. And then, of course, you got the Morn grave, so. Alright, let's see if Xavier's right. Do we see unique... Again, you see Banished Knight weapons and, especially, most importantly, the shields here. Because, again, Banished Knights are, or at least were, stationed here. This is probably for the Morn Siege, right? With the Misbegotten stuff here, right? But, could apply to other things. Okay, are these guys unique in any way? Oh. Oh. I don't recall them having these extra dangly bits. Well. Am I wrong, chat? Like, am I crazy? I don't think other jellyfish have that. I think there's a good way we can check, too. Noxtella had a lot of dark black metal plates and stone archways along walls and where windows would be. Yeah, but I don't recall if I saw anything quite like that symbol there, but I have to go back and double check that. God, all this because I want to put off getting to the Halig tree as long as possible, huh? What's the architecture in the town right before the Halig tree? Ordina, it's Noxian architecture. It's the same as Celia and Langdell. Yeah, these are normal, right? So these don't have the little added tentacle bits. Oh, that's interesting, chat. Because I talked about at the beginning of the stream how the idea was the Banished Knights and the Exiled Soldiers, right? The people from Stormvale. They came in. There was something here related to the ancient civilization, hence the golem, hence the ancient civilization highways we see all pointing to reach, like, bridge all the way to this area where Morn Castle is now. I wonder, are those the spirits of women from super, super long time ago, and because they're so ancient, they have more dangly bits than, like, say, your standard jellyfish, which is from more recent times? Is that the idea, that they're just so old that they have this? Ooh, that's interesting. Very interesting. That's something I'm going to have to think about. Thanks, Xavier, for pointing that out. That was really cool. Halig tree isn't that bad if you have normal health and don't die in one hit. Well, Xavier, I think we just identified the problem. I think we may have just found out what the issue is. Elden Ring has gamers getting degrees in comparative archaeology. Very true, Paul. I seem to be one of those people at this point. The Ravine, Bellum Church. Yeah, okay, let's just go straight to... I can't think of any other questline stuff we have except for... Audience... Yeah, okay, we got the stuff from Zariah, so we can just go straight here. If age is the factor, you can try to compare it to the ones on Mountaintop. Do you mean... Oh, you mean here at the Ice Lake, right? Yeah, let's double check that then. Let's check to see if there's any differences there, because yeah, those could potentially be as old as well. Yeah, that's something to keep in mind. Again, if anyone recalls seeing those specific kind of jellyfish with the extra tentacle bits on them, please feel free to highlight. Oh, that's right. I forgot. I forgot. We had a right card. We actually had a right card, Grace. Whoops. Tanith? Tanith? Tanith, I hate to tell you this, but he's dead. You even told me he was dead. Also, why are you making munching noises? Okay, chat. If I don't give them to her now, will I be punished for it? Or can I give them to her at any point as long as I don't rest? Like a human jellyfish versus an ool jellyfish. Ooh, that could be a good one. Do we have ones in the, It might also be the spirits of a different race or species. Ooh, that's a good point too, Night Scout. We should also consider that as a factor. Could be the idea that maybe there's, like, I don't know, like bird people or something that are turned into that. Like a human jellyfish versus an ool. Also, yeah, the mountaintop should have a really old jellyfish up near, if I recall correctly, Borealis' frozen lake. By the way, did you meet Blythe and encounter the extra Ronnie scene at Rena's Rise? Oh, it's at Rena's Rise. It's not a Ronnie Rise. Okay, guys, that's why. We went to Ronnie's Rise. We didn't go to Rena's Rise. Okay, thanks, Night Sky. You unintentionally explained to us a problem we were having. Let's see. Elden Ring against gamers. Wasn't there a beach with really weird jellyfish? I forgot. Yeah, we just checked that, Joel. Or is there another beach you're thinking of? Give it the castnets to her now. At this rate, I don't think postponing it does anything. Gotcha. I was wondering if there'd be like different dialogue that we could get both of them then, but we'll just give them.
I have no need of that.
Okay, sure.
I must continue devouring my beloved lord.
I see.
Oh, you. Allow me some time. Our lord's carcass is vast and not easily consumed. Dear Rykard, please find purchase within me. I wish to be your serpent, your family.
Oh my.
One day, let us devour the gods.
I don't think she moves or anything. Gotcha.
Dear, I wished one day.
All right, so I assume this isn't gonna mess anything up. Well, it didn't mess anything up. If there's anything new.
Oh, you allow me some. Our lord's.
All right, well, chat. I think this is the end of Tannis' quest, so patch is shut down hard. It's been a long while, but I vaguely remember a really long beach with a strange explodey jellyfish. Oh, I do not recall this. I wonder if I've been there.
My lord.
Huh?
God.
Wait, you didn't even die. Invaded by Tannis Knight. I didn't even kill her. Come on. There we go. I got him, chat. Woo! And I got another aspect of the Crucible. Oh, wait, she really did die. Okay. I hit you once. Your health bar didn't even go down all the way. Whatever. You're dead now. She bled out. Woo! Lady of Volcano Manor. Image of a foreign queen. Increased dexterity. Long ago, when Rykard first set eyes on Tannis, she was working as a dancer in a foreign land. Soon, he made her his consort. She was the only human to remain by his side when he became the Serpent of Blasphemy. As a dancer in a foreign land. That's interesting, because foreign land could mean outside the lands between, but it could also mean just somewhere outside of either Liurnia or the Erdtree capital. So that's an interesting thing to think about. Foreign queen, foreign land. In that moment, Tanith was truly charmed by him. The whole thing with E.G. E.G. was afraid, terrified of his own treachery. So he's terrified that he was being treacherous against the greater will and its vassals, the Fingers, so he wore this for added protection and stuff. Anything else here? Silkworn by Tanith, Lady of Volcano Manor. Long ago, when Rykard first set eyes on her, she was working as a dancer. So after he became his consort, she was the only human to remain by his side when he became the Serpent Blessing. Yeah, okay, nothing new here. Okay, so nothing really too new that I didn't already know about Tanith. Rereading this stuff. Tanith's stand is gone. Her body is now at the Rykard head with her gear. Now you can basically check Zarias' note or fight Tanith whenever you want. Oh yeah, Zarias sent us a note, didn't she? Where is that notes? Here we go. Was it this? No, that's Rogier's. There's Zarias' note. I wish to set out on a journey so that one day I carry on Mother's work, be the proud daughter of Tanith the Volcano. So I can carry on Mother's work. Oh my. Well, you know, I did suggest to her that she should succeed her as Lady of Volcano Manor. Her mom's kind of going crazy. So you know what? I've only myself to blame for this, really. Farewell, you've always been so kind, so uncompromising, my champion. Well, chat. I've caused this vicious cycle to continue forever. Yeah, lobsters, gators, etc. getting bigger. I think Elden Ring has crayfish, though. I learned something about lobsters today. That way they don't age and they just get too big. Not sure how true that is, but the first thing I thought of was the huge lobsters of this game. They eat in good. Yeah, they eat well in this game, that's for sure. The crabs and the lobsters here, the crayfish or whatever. The prawn. For a long while, I associated Tanith's homeland with a lot of, with that of Malenia's mentor because he was a sword dancer. Not sure there's any concrete evidence, though. Ooh, that's a good idea, though, Joel. Something I'll look into. With how Tanith eats Rykard and the Serpent, I wonder if she planned to usurp the snake's own power and be the monstrous ruler herself. I think that's a good possibility, at the very least. If nothing else, she might have thought that she could be the neck for the head, right? Like, she's the one who supports the head, and she's the one who's, like, actually, like, controlling things as, like, the Shadow King by, whispering to her husband and all that, right? Because she definitely seems super into, feeding him, right? So I think that she might be the one where she was all on board with his blasphemy shtick. And then, as you can see, now that he's dead, it's like, okay, that's fine, because now I can eat him, and now I can directly control, so it works for me either way. Yeah, so I think it's possible she may have had ambitions of her own, where she's like, I never really loved you until you became this blasphemy bit deer, now you're kind of awesome, and I can control you so that way I'm the one in charge then. Yeah, I could see totally that being the thing. Okay, are we forgetting anything else with quest lines? Let's go to Rena's Rise so we can do the thing with dialogue there, and then we're done. I, for one, welcome our new Raya Overlord. Well, the snake had to eat Rykard to make him the face of the neck. That's very true. Tanith, in contrast, eating both Rykard and the snake. Yeah, that, in some sense, right? Like, she's now becoming, but that's the point I make, is that, like, now she's gonna become, like, the serpent or whatever, combined with Rykard and all that. So, I don't know if that means she's gonna be able to retain her will fully, or if it's gonna be kind of like last time with the snake. But to be fair, it seems to be, like, once you kill, quote-unquote, the snake, Rykard takes over, right? So, yeah. The snake's an interesting thing to think about, for sure. She tried to feed you to him. The whole Volcano Manor champion thinks he's just a way to find strong warriors to defeat the snake. Yeah, that's the entire idea, Platy. It's like, yes, we talk up about how you become a hero. Wonderful. You're now strong enough to go join our family proper. And then she just sends you to get eaten. Hey, is there no, yeah, there's no other grace point here that we're missing. Darn. I guess it really is supposed to be Ronnie's tower. Yeah, it's supposed to be here, but we don't get it, so... I think you have to beat the game, chat. I think you have to choose Ronnie's ending in order to unlock that dialogue. I was hoping I would find a grace point I never picked before with Rena, but nope. Alright. Let's do Patches' cave. There we go. Oh, whoopsie. Alright, Jet, let's do this. Oh, darn. There we go. Alright, Patches! Oh, Patch! The fuck? Wait! You're kidding me.
Thought you'd just help yourself to a
that you? Oh, Christ. Please, wait. I surrender. I surrender. I swear.
Oh my god, I can't believe this quest gets even more hilarious.
Glad to see we're on the same page. I'd never cross you. Not even close.
Oh my god, chat, this is amazing. I guess it makes sense, because you can technically do the entire Volcano Manor questline without ever meeting Patches in the first place. So this is technically just them returning to what they were, what would happen if you never did so anyway, and you came to this area late. But that's just so funny. I love this.
It's been ages since I've seen you. I didn't even realize it was you. Took you for
Patches, it's been 5 minutes.
you know how it is. Just an innocent mistake. Water under the bridge.
Hey, how sweet, he got you glass shards for your Subnautica stream. Oh my god, Patches is the best, chat. He knew I needed more glass for my base. Patches, my bro! I love you! Never change, Patches. Actually, he doesn't. You did a mass unloading of items last stream or so. You might have removed Ronnie's doll. You need the doll and to sit at the new Grace on... I don't think I removed the doll. I would have remembered, I think. Because I think it's under key items, right? Yeah, it's right here. So yeah, I haven't removed it. Ronnie's mini... We have Chibi Ronnie right here. Yeah. No, I think the Ronnie's Rise top dialogue just needs Blythe dead and the doll in your inventory. Nope, Night Scout, we've done that. So Blythe is dead. We've killed Blythe. And we had Ronnie in the inventory, as you just saw. So yeah, that's not it. I mentioned the snake has only female choir, while Rykard has male. That ties into the idea that the snake is female, right? So, I don't think that's that it's her telling you about the end. I don't think that it's her telling you about the ending beforehand. I'm sorry, Xavier. I did not follow that grammar. Maybe I'm just being stupid right now. Anyway, we've done everything we can, right?
This bandit business is hardly what it's cracked up to be.
Is that so?
Especially if we keep running into the likes of you. Maybe I'll set up another shop with the lads. Maybe I'll set up another shop with the lads.
That's ominous. What are we going to be doing there? Well, did you find the new Grace at the top? It's not the old... Oh! It's not the old... Okay. Okay. There's a new Grace at the top of the Rise, is what you're saying. If you read the official comic, he's actually such a chap in it. That's the comedy manga, right? That's the Yonkoma. Actually, is it a Yonkoma? I can't remember now. I know I've seen some shots from it, but I don't think I've actually read the full thing, so I have no idea. Alright, let's check at the top. I checked at the top of Rena's Rise, but not Ronnie's Rise, so let's check that. Okay, I don't think that it is. She's supposed to be telling you about her idea for her ending. Okay, so it's probably not them beating the game. Okay, so we should find a new Grace up here, and then we can chat with Ronnie, and then we can do Haley Tree. Yep, it's here. Okay, all's well. There we go. I know you're there.
I take it thou hast noticed. I shouldn't be surprised. I thought I might expound a little upon the order I envisioned.
She's trying to pretend like, no, she's not listening into me.
But the stars and moon of the chill night, I would keep them far from the earth beneath our feet. As it is now, life and souls and order are bound tightly together. But I would have them.
Yeah, new Grace. Also interesting that the Grace still points to and from the new Grace. I think the Greater Will isn't calling the Grace shots if Ronnie's still favored after doing the one thing. Technically, it's... Actually, you're right, because she does dissolve the Elden Ring or something, right, at the end, if I recall?
Wouldst thou come to me even now?
That's confirmed to make the Greater Will mad, killing at 2 fingers. I suppose that's true. There's also the possibility, though, that the Grace... It isn't about Ronnie with the Grace. It's about our choice, right? Because technically, we also can help with the whole blasphemy shtick. And the Greater Will doesn't forsake us for that stuff either. So it could just basically be... Either one, the Greater Will understands that it's not going to work with Rykard. Or B, it could just be the idea that our choice of order itself is what the Greater Will is interested in, not necessarily... the the people who might be, you know, traitors and things like. It's like if that's the order you want to choose, then so be it.
Mine
At least you're
will be
picking
water,
something.
Not of gold.
I can see that.
The stars and
Okay, yeah, blah, blah, blah.
wouldst thou come?
Alright. Alright, we got the last of the dialogue, chat. Alright, that's everything. That's everybody. Unless there's something else with Patches that he's gonna do, but he's done for now. Everything there. Everything there. We got the graveyard there. Windmill Heights, yeah. Forbidden Lands. Oh, who's here? Oh, the Finger Reader. No one cares. Then there's Shabriri here. I don't think we're finishing any quest lines with him. Alright, let's check out the jellyfish here. I mean, the grace is meant to guide people. However, Ronnie, more than anyone else, has done the one thing confirmed to have ever gone to disprove of the greater will, killing a 2 fingers with the Finger Slayer blade. Yes, but we also don't know. I also would be like, yeah, true, but I don't know the full circumstances behind the Nox. Again, I'm gonna go with the assumption the Nox, killing a 2 fingers with the Finger Slayer blade is part of the whole reason why they were banished in the first place and all that, right? So like, let's just take that for granted. I'm not sure. Yeah, these look like normal jellyfish. Yeah. So these are normal jellyfish. Yeah, so nothing's new or special here. Anyway, so I think the point is that they're guiding us to the various places we can capture or go to or join forces or blah 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 whatever, right? And I think the idea is that the Greater Will has faith in the Tarnished to make the decision versus, say, the demigods, and this isn't anything about, this isn't necessarily about, oh, well, you know, Ronnie's done some things that would piss me off personally. Well, it's like, the choice isn't going to be up to Ronnie, it's up to the Tarnished that the Greater Will seems to want to do that for, so. That's where I would argue. Just casually walking on ice? Man. I didn't realize there were so many normal animals here. Okay. I'm not seeing any of the special jellyfish. These all seem to be normal ones. Yeah, okay. Well. That's the Paste Derelict. That's Ordina. That's where we want to go, right, chat? Maybe the Greater Will thinks Rykar will just accidentally accomplish something, then peter out, but Ronnie legit have repeated a confirm don't do this thing. Yeah, again, I think just saying that it's not about Ronnie, it's about what the Tarnished want, is where the choice goes to. So, like, if it was like, okay, the Greater Will personally wants to engineer a specific outcome, then sure, I would maybe agree with you. But as we can see, the Greater Will is chill with a lot of different kinds of order. I would not be surprised if Ronnie ends up being one of those things where it's like, I will allow it. I would not be surprised. Ronnie's the most good. And then Patch is the only place to get the get that armor set. So let's see, Patch is done. I killed him after doing that and getting the last few gestures from him. Gotcha. I'll keep that in mind, Platty, so we can go back and kill him at some point. Let's go moving on to Halig Tree. Yeah, see, guys, we have the same doorways and windows that we see in Celia with the same architecture, so this is all. So, the rooftops are the same, but the architecture in Shaded Castle is different. So, okay, we can cut out the Nox from any analysis then from Shaded Castle. It might still be, though, as I was previously pondering, the possibility that it wasn't built by the Banished Knights themselves, but on behalf of Godfrey's forces. Oh, the barrier's gone. Oh, I see. It's gonna be one of those regular teleport things. Remind me, chat, is there anything I want from these guys? Oh! You know what? You know, we can go do the towers at any point, so we'll worry about the towers later. I was like, wait, I can do Rykard's Divine Tower and stuff. Knowing this game, it's gonna make it where I overshoot and I die if I'm not doing careful. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I could have easily seen myself overshooting. Oh, my... You're here, of course. Couldn't you all just go stay at Langdell? Why did you, some of you have to stay behind? Come on. Oh no. Yeah, you little kitties. Sacramental Bud? Gee, I wonder why. Oh, there's the Halig tree. There's a bunch... I can't remember, guys. Is this stuff rot itself, or is this just regular fungi? I don't remember. I actually don't remember what the rot fungi looked like back in Caelid. Actually, I think this is rot fungi, right? Because I remember this stuff, at least, in Caelid. Alright, so far, so good. So far, I don't want to kill myself. Envoy's Horn! Thanks! I bet you that's another rare drop I just casually picked up. Which way do I want to go? Yeah, let's go this way. Oh, no. Damn it. I was hoping I could kill him before that, but no luck. Actually, I wonder if a Duela's Moonblade would have been useful for that, if I do a fully charged one, if that would have staggered him. Gosh. Well, chat, is it daytime? Oh, it's about to be nighttime. That's no bueno. That is definitely yabai. That is no bene. Oh, that was an overkill. Oh, you are awful! I hate you all! Ow! I didn't even notice the damage you were doing! Welcome to Mikkela's Pitfall Land. Oh, God. The fungi seems to pop up with the Scarlet Rot. The white rings and round centers are 100% Scarlet Rot. Gotcha, okay. Because I could not remember what the specific stuff is. I just remember the little pustule type things. Okay. Oh god, I just noticed how much, how many runes I'm getting for this stuff. Like, oh my god, look at all of this. This is, just for these basic guys, it's almost 2k. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh. Dang it. Of course! You survive with just 1 extra health. Ow. That damage, chat! That damage. Whew. Oh, no. Alright. So, I see the ants there. I'm gonna ignore them and pretend that they are not... They can't hurt me. I'm wasting so much. Can I please have a free refill from a bug? Can we please have a bug here? Some strip of white flesh. Oh, what the hell? Oh, from there. Ow. Okay. I ain't jumping that. No, 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 sir. I am not taking that risk. Hey, nuh-uh. Nah. No. We want to look over here. I wanted to use my left trigger, but I wasn't sure if I had the sword out. Now I remember. I definitely do. God, this area is a maze. Oh. Of course. Scarlet Rot. Of course. Of course. Whew! That was close. Aeonian Butterfly, of course. Oh, this is one of those moments where I'm really gonna regret. Ah! Oh no! Dear all that is holy, what am I looking at? I'm looking at hell. Good lord. Take me out of Hades, please. Return me to the land of the living. Ooh, another stone sword. I love how I'm still getting stone sword keys. This should be the time where I get 0 stone sword keys. I just spend them. Why does the game keep giving me stone sword keys? Why? Alright. Anything else up here I should care? Ah. I just had a thought, chat, and I hate myself for having this thought. I thought, what if the big flower here actually gives me something if I kill it? I shouldn't have had this thought. Oh. Alright. Let's try... Let's wait for him to do the, well, I guess her. Let's wait for the Miranda flower, whatever it is, to do its normal thing. Gonna stop? There we go. There we go. There we go. Nope, it gave me nothing. That was a waste. Whatever. Okay, let's check what chat's doing right now. The Amp Path is the main thoroughfare of the area. Good to know. That was just a singular preserving bolus. One singular preserving bolus. Yep. Oh, let's see. One is all you need. Nothing more than every other flower gives you. The greater is almost a pushover in that case. If so, what are we talking about here? Down without dying. Let's see. The Trumpeteers seem to be here either as leftovers from Mikila's Haley Tree Order before Moog ruined it, or Malenia being used as a tool for the sacred Scarlet Rot Order. I think it's probably the former. I think that makes the most sense, because the idea would be you have them here, and they have the white, like the white flesh thing, and the white strip of flesh thing really gives me, and the childish noises they make really makes me think Mikila, and the idea of sending them to Lingdell makes sense, because, like, hey, you guys who love the Erd Tree Order, we have a new Erd Tree. It's better, right? That's what I would think. But let's see. With the Finger Slayer basis, we're saying it's proof of high treason and Narcron's downfall. It seems weird if the Greater Will would simply be happily Grace Point tarnished to Rani. Again, because she's one of the options. And again, I don't want to be like, oh, well, the Greater Will was pissed off about it back in the circumstances with the Nox back then, so it would be pissed off about it now. I don't know. The Greater Will might have had different intentions then compared to now, right? Like, it's not necessarily that the circumstances are all the same. Again, until I do, like, a deep dive on exactly what was happening at the time, why the Nox were doing what they were doing. Obviously, then the Greater Will and why it reacted the way it did, or how, etc. Like, until I do all that stuff, I'm not gonna automatically like just disregard the notion of, oh well, yeah, Ronnie's doing the same thing now. It's like, is it exactly the same? Are the circumstances all identical? I don't know. With all the other stuff that the Greater Will is willing to tolerate in these circumstances, I don't know if Ronnie would necessarily be outside the bounds. Now, could it be, as you say, it might be where the Two Fingers and the Grace and all that is actually being controlled, like, say, by Marika, for example. Maybe. Again, I've always been open to this idea up until I get to the ending, right? I want to see how the narrative plays out, but I'm not sold just hearing the idea of, well, it points to Ronnie, therefore must not be a Greater Will anymore. I don't know. You really have to get over a bigger hurdle than that, I think. Yeah, we gotta save on sorcery, so. I'll be honest, I'm doing pretty okay, all things considered. And voice horn. I'll be honest, I was expecting this to be a little bit more awful. But so far, I seem to be going through this place like a champ. Alright, it all worked, chat. My beloved! Ah, yes, your beloved Halig Tree with Malenia and Mikola. Ah, that was a good laugh. I was hoping we could maybe use that to get these ants out of the way. Also, rod ants, of course. Who brought the rod ants from underground? Let's see, Xavier. I assume these guys are the Greater Will's musicians for a god/lord's birthday party. That's interesting to think about. That the Greater Will brought them specifically. Oh. Interesting idea. God, almost 3K for these guys. You think, let's see, well, those stalks with the fuzzy bits are the male parts of a flower, and flowers are both parts, if I'm not mistaken. What are the fuzzy bits you mean? You mean over here? Or are we talking about something else? Let's see. You think the trumpet dudes are a Mikola thing? Yeah, that was my first thought when I saw them in Langdell, and then later learned they're also at Halig Tree. I'm like, oh, okay, Mikola. That explains the childish noises and the white strips and all that. Because, like, when I think of envoys and stuff, let's look at the trumpet. I guess they're not as rare as I thought. That, or I'm really getting lucky with these drops. So let's see, Golden Horns of Oracle Envoy. So again, this term for Oracle means an expression of God, right? So the idea is like, you know, when you receive an Oracle, you're receiving something that God wants to express to other people, and so that's the idea, right? So you receive an Oracle. Originally an instrument, but one that cannot be sounded by mere humans, or perhaps it's too early to sound the call. Oh, okay, it doesn't say what I was hoping it would say. I was wondering if it talked anything about, like, visions or anything like that related to Mikola. That could maybe clarify some things. But no, it just talks about the idea that, oh, hey, it's telling you about something about gods, and, like, the idea would be Mikola is supposed to become the new god of the new Erd tree, quote-unquote, this Halig tree, right? So that would be the argument. Come on, hurry. There we go. Not gonna lie, Ronnie's Dark Moon is really helping me punch through these bigger guys, so... This plus Terra Magica just means so much damage we can start putting in. But we're out of sorcery stuff, so... Okay, maybe this tells us something new. The soft bundle worn on the head of Oracle envoys, several layers of cloth. No one knows what the cloth hides, but some claim to have heard a faint whimpering from inside. It must have been their imagination. We know that they have these childish noises and stuff. Makes you wonder. Maybe they're artificial creations? Dappled cured meat. And then we're done. Good. Ow! Smithing stone 8. Oh wait, we come from the mountaintops, right? Where'd that other guy come from? Where'd he shoot me? Oh, we're going back the other way. Okay. Alright, chat. I think I've cleared these branch areas, right? Like, this is all done. I have... Oh, oops. Right, I'm out. I forgot. So I think my only options are going down this way. I see that guy. That guy I could see bombarding us. So we want to go down this way and that way. So we just gotta run through the other guy and hope he doesn't kill us. That's how I see I gotta do. I just gotta try not to die with my 200k, almost 200k runes. Oh no. They have silver blood, or at the very least white. They also have bluish skin. Yeah, that definitely gives you a more cosmic feel to them, doesn't it? The white flesh they have, also that they drop, also supports that. The Clayman bubble spells also say this. The Claymen search for lost oracles within their bubbles. Yeah, same idea, right? So the idea that for some reason bubbles are used in order to get divine oracles, right? Which again goes back to this idea of the cosmos, ocean in the sky, association with water and stuff like that, all that. Yes, you've cleared that part of the branch is good. Maybe they're, sap from the Erd Tree. Ooh, sap from the Erd Tree? The white guys? I don't know. I feel like we would get more golden stuff if they were sap from the Erd Tree. I feel like the white stuff is a bit unusual then. And plus, okay, the thing is, we also have to consider they're wrapped in cloth, so someone has to have wrapped them in cloth. That's what makes me think maybe some, like, artificial creation of Mikola might be at play. Interesting idea. Oh. Ah! Oh! That's how the shooting goes. Yikes! So I have to run through rot and avoid that. Oh boy. There's a down into the right section. Ah, I see. I missed that. Alright, chat. Can I do this? Can I run through? What? Whoop. Oh. Ow! Huh? Whoop. All right. Ow! I don't know how I survived that. Whoop! How am I surviving this? 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 How am I alive? Grace! Ah, beautiful, glorious Grace! Also, hey, Mikola statues? Trina statues? I don't know anymore. Just get me out of here. Bubble hell. Yep, your worst part of this trek. Like I said, like a smaller Normandy. Oh, let's see. The envoy's ashes imply that their appearance might be more of a tradition than Mikola having new kids on the block. I'll have to check out the ashes, because I honestly, I don't remember the lore for these guys beyond, like, early impressions I had. So, like, this is definitely... Oh, there's a shortcut here, huh? Yeah, it doesn't work, of course. Oh, I get it, because this is like a boss room or something, right? And this is the shortcut to the boss, of course. Oh, actually, before we do this, chat, because I can see me dying a lot in that section up above. What's the exact number we want? 24.5, basically, so... Or 24.6 if we want to round up, so... I think 5 might be enough. Ah, just short. Should have gone with... one more? Yeah, there we go. Alright. Oh, yeah, just enough. Alright, we're over the 1400 mark with my HP. Once we hit 40, I'm going to stop, and like I said, we're going to start investing into intelligence again, because I want to push my damage just a little higher. As you guys saw with those stupid envoys, if I had a little more damage, I wouldn't be, like, two-shotting them. I could one-shot them by getting just a little bit of that health off. The Haley Tree architecture here reminds me of Rivendell and Lothlorien in the Jackson trilogy adaptation of The Lord of the Rings. Is that so? I'm not too big of a Lord of the Rings buff, so I really mostly only know what's stuff from Friends, so I can't really comment on that kind of thing. So we want to go this way. Yeah, that was like right. How am I live? Ow! Yep, that's why. Alright. I think I know what we need to do, though, chat. We got the items I want, so what we need to do is run up until these mushrooms and then jump off. The ashes are up there with the big boy that was pelting you with bubbles. Oh, that's good. That's very good. That means we can check it out real soon. Though again, probably gonna want to check the JP text just to make sure I'm missing any nuance afterwards. God, look how far Volcano Manor is, chat. Alright. Just keep running, just keep running, just keep running, running. Ow! Oh, it was the next one! Ow! I got confused! I was like, oh, there's my runes, that's where I jump. Wait, that's not my jump point. No! We were so close. God, there's so much shit here. I'm actually tempted to kill that guy from down here. Let's see if we can do that, actually. Because it's only 500 runes. It's not like the biggest deal to lose those. A Newman rune all the way up here? Yeah, again, that... It's my question on whether Newman runes are supposed to just represent runes that are so big that they're worthy of Newman, or if the idea is that we actually have actual Newmans where we're finding them. Like, it kind of makes sense with, like, the ants down underground, which would be, like, next to the Nox. Not sure if that would fly here, though. Though I guess... no, because it's not like it's Mikola himself that we're looting it from, right? It's another corpse. Yeah, I can't get that. Okay. Oh! Oh! Damn it! Chat. What I do? What I do? I can. They de-aggroed. Yeah, chat, I think this might be an oversight. Call me crazy. I don't think this was intentional. I missed. Oh, this is funnier than me just falling to my death. The tree is trying to save me. Time to warp. Yep, well, that was a very unsuccessful run. Based on the Haley tree size and growth, the Newman room might have been underground when the Haley tree was first. Ooh, that's true. That's true. It could be that it came from underground and it was brought up with the tree, and then the guy whose corpse we got picked it up at some point. Yeah, that's a good explanation. I think that's fair. We're back to Grace. Neat. You can see the boss room. Exactly. It's like, hey, look, guys, the boss room's right over there. Oh. I did it! Alright. Oh, now I find you! Ow. Ow! No, stop it. Stop it. Alright, I think it's given up on me, chat. Or at least I hope it has. Alright, we know how this is gonna go, chat, so... There we go. Alright, that's one problem solved. Yeah, go fall off a ledge. Oh no. Okay, no, we're safe. Yeah, we're safe. Okay, Hugh. As long as it's not smart enough to actually move forward. Yeah, that's definitely a boss room, if I've ever seen one. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what's the strat here, chat. I think Ronnie's Dark Moon has to be the key, because I need to get that damage off. No. Okay. Ah, this is so awkward for me, chat. God, this is hell. Alright, Mr. Adult Child thing. Oh, what do you know? Nice little shrine. So this is the same thing we saw back in Altus, if I recall. If I recall correctly. Oh, that is mean! That is mean! How could they do this, chat? Miyazaki, he's an ableist. About the envoys that might not be aligned with Mikola, they're seemingly allowed in Langdell, not in the abandoned part either, whereas Morgoth considers Mikola. I'll be honest, I don't really consider that much, because it seems like they can just kind of, you know, bounce on in. I'm not so sure about that, because the only thing where they really kind of clash with people is, like, maybe the gargoyles, but, like, the gargoyles seem to, I don't know, they're more like automatons. I don't know if they even recognize those things as a threat. If they're from Mikola, it's weird that their horns aren't called out to be unalloyed gold. Yeah, that's true. That's a stronger point. You feel like everything unalloyed gold would be involved with Mikola. Strat is don't let him Mario stomp you. It's like, Lost Ash of War. Jeez! I wonder, the idea of something that's missing. A certain skill or ability. Like, the statue's more of the tragedy of the twins, so the missing arm makes sense, yeah. And again, it's not that the arm is missing, it's that the item that I just picked up when we got it. That's what I'm laughing at, Night Scout. Yay. God, I just love it. This stupid, it's like, let's just put a Lost Ash of War here. Hey, Vens, good to see you. Also, the text shows Malenia with organic feet, so she didn't lose all of her limbs at once. Yeah, again, I'm not paying attention to, like, how she's being depicted here, though, again, that's an interesting detail that they're showing that, so that's kind of cool. I'm just saying that I find it incredibly funny. That's where you get, where they put the corpse of the Lost Ash of War literally right below armless Malenia. I guess the alternate interpretation you could maybe, I guess you could maybe try to be like, oh, you know, Miquella's missing now, but, and that's like a thematic representation of that, but I think... I think they would have just, like, showed, like, a broken, like, Miquella statue or something if they wanted to show that. Well, chat. That's good. That's good. Oh no. Whew. Thank God it didn't do the big bubble. If it did the bubble wall attack, I would have been dead, I'm pretty sure. Like, I don't think I would have survived that. Okay, is this... These are my ashes! Oracle Envoy! Woo! TK. It's TK, right? Yeah, TK and this one. Let's see. Asher remains in which spirits yet dwell, used to summon the spirits of 4 Oracle Envoys, spirits of a monstrous band of musicians who employ sacred arts. Ooh! I've got to look into the exact wording of that. That's interesting. It said that when Oracle Envoys appear, playing their pipes, they do so to herald the arrival of a new god or a new age. Yeah, I feel that's why I would say... And this is the only 2 areas we find them in, Langdell and Halig Tree, right? So that's why I think it's... a connection to Miquella would be more likely. Let's see. But let's check here. They do sort of monstrous band, sacred. Yeah, the sacred arts thing. I wonder if sacred arts is supposed to be arcane arts, or again the idea of a divine mysteries, the secrets of God, knowledge God only knows. Again, I feel like I repeat this this every stream, but that's fine. What are the requirements? It's faith. Okay, no, it's probably just like holy magic or whatever, if it's a faith weapon and not an arcane weapon. It's not like oracle bubbles. Alright, now that we've done this... I was wondering if this was possible, and so it is. Man, chat, I should really have my foot falling through this floor right now, but that's fine, I don't care. I will accept it. I'll allow it. There we go. I don't see any other items. I figured they would hide something up here. I guess not. Yeah, it's probably for Malenia's arm. No shortage of solo Miquella statues around here. I guess you could also say the Ash of War is there because Miquella is lost. Yeah, that was the only other option I could think of, John, but I think it makes more sense given the missing... Because I feel like if they really wanted to do that, they could have just, like, removed the Miquella statue from the assets there, right? Like, or get a broken version or something. But I guess maybe... I guess you could argue that was too much work and they wouldn't want to do that, so they just did the Ash of War. Yeah, just those 2. But at one point, they were planning to be in deeper depths as well. Ooh. So to possibly fit with that. But then again, it's possible that the general lore for them was different, so... It's possible the idea was to connect them more with the ancient dynasties and their culture and history then, and then they later did the Miquella thing retroactively. Also, when did you show up? I think the Langdell ones are showing up as a mysterious wildcard to usher in the Golden Order's fall, and the ones here are to welcome either Miquella or Malenia's patron, or they're here to say, LOL, Halig Tree sucks, your plan is over. I don't know, I feel like it's more likely they're there to just tell everybody, hey, come over to the Halig Tree. A new god and a new order is coming with Miquella. And then the ones at the Halig Tree are supposed to deliver on that thing. Because the idea would be, you set them up in Langdell, so people are like, oh my god, these are all about, you know, a new age and a new god or whatever. I wonder what that's about. And then, bam, Halig Tree delivers on that when you enter there, and the first thing you see are those stupid oracles, so... I feel like that's the storytelling we're getting there. Okay, where's the big boy? Why was he here? Or are we just gonna get, like, an infinite stream of stuff? Hey, dude, you're praying. You're praying. Yeah, I really have to wonder if, because we see them like praying to the Godfroy Everjail here. I really have to wonder if they're still like if they actually like worship Godfroy or some shit, or what have you. Like that is some very very strange strange behavior from the hybrids. Yeah, where's that Leonide boy? I still don't see him. Oh, is he like up here or something and I aggroed him from like over there when I was on the rooftop? Is that it? That's probably it. Also, wait, am I in a new area? I have not been paying attention. If the envoys had been there for that long, I feel Morgott would have eventually booted them out, at least after the Haley tree failed. Well, does he even know if it failed? Like, do the envoys there even know the Haley tree failed? Again, we have to keep in mind, at least with the Mikola thing and the Rot thing with Malenia is relatively recent, all things considered. Huh? Because, like, it would be... Malenia goes to fight Radon. Mikola gets kidnapped. Malenia comes back after fighting Radon to find Mikola is gone. God, there's so much shit here. The Tarnished get called in because Radon and Malenia's battle seems to be the last straw for the Greater Will, right? So the Tarnished get called in. The Tarnished go out and do their shtick. The Tarnished piss off Morgott and get kicked out, right? Because they're there, and then later, again, this goes with the idea of maybe Vike or whatever burns them with Frenzied Flame and burns the tree, and Morgott gets all pissy, right? God, these guys are... Oh! Uh-huh. Also, I'm alive. Oh, also, I'm not alive. Well, now I know where Leonine Boy comes from. So all that happens, and then after that, of course, the rod has to spread. Gideon and the Tarnished have to do their thing at Round Table Hold. So, like, there's been a lot of time, but I don't know if that's necessarily enough time that the Oracles are going to get kicked out. I mean, if they're going to get kicked out by Morgott, though, I guess they would be kicked out just for the fact that they're there, period. Because Morgott might be like, what? You would betray the Erd Tree? How could you? Like, that would be the only reason. But I guess that assumes that the Oracles are actually, their bubbles at least, are revealing a new type of, a new type of order. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. There we go, he's dead. Woo! That worked. Pale Drake Talisman +2. Geez, I wonder why. Again, we get a little bit of paleness associated with good old Mikola as well. And I think this is like just general defense, right? Oh no, it's under talismans. Yeah, so boost non-physical damage, so a bunch of different kinds of magics. The Ancient Dragons, yeah, symbol thing. Basically all the protections and all that. I'm just glad they don't explode with rot or some shit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Let's go up and take back my runes. I think Mikola gets abducted has been generally known by now. Let's see, get the impression these guys are more mysterious. Okay, yeah, so, okay, nothing I'm missing here. Gideon seems to know how that he got abducted even before you bring him intel, if I recall correctly, and Gideon probably once worked out of the fortified manor. Yeah, but did he learn that information while in Langdell, though? That would be the question. I guess the question would be, when were the Tarnished taken out of Langdell, and was that information publicly shared? Like, there's a lot of factors to consider there. But yeah, I think it's definitely possible that that Miquella's abduction was known. Actually, wait a second. Because I think if I recall correctly, Gideon almost talks about it as if it was like a hunch or like a tip that couldn't even properly verify. It just was like, oh, so that did turn out to be true. So I don't know if it's necessarily as like secure, well-known information. It could just be like he had one source who might have some inside connection from his spies that were able to confirm it, but he wasn't able to verify it entirely, right? Like, you know, it's low confidence intel. Why are there so many of you? Who thought this was a good idea? Go away. Turn to rot on your own time, not mine. Alright, and that just takes you back up. Yeah, I don't see anything special I can climb. Ah! Let's go this way. Huh? Who died? What? Why? Oh, one of you fell or something, right? Fire grease! Yeah, I might want that grease. Oh, I see why this is liked. Okay. Oh, cool little cocoon things. Oh, this was in Vati's video, right? They kind of do resemble Albinaurics, at least the old Albinaurics. That's interesting. Die. Bye-bye. Auf Wiedersehen. Still alive. Is that it? Just the one boy? Of course it's not. Of course. I looked everywhere except under me. Oh. That was not what I wanted, but okay. Mushroom! What a shocker, huh? Butterflies. Butterflies everywhere. Why do you people keep on falling? I think it's Gideon just pretending to have known because he's a blowhard. I don't remember if his dialogue came off like that precisely, but I guess I'll look into that. I was like, after the first charge shot, I'm like, I gotta rush this, because if he reacts too quickly, I could die. Dang it. See, they're really quick here, so I gotta be careful. I could very easily see myself dying. Okay, I thought there might be someone here. Oh, do we see? We don't see these chairs anywhere else. That's cool. I like seeing new assets. More new assets from Soft. It's always nice when you do that. Golden rune. It definitely feels like Halig Tree received a lot of special care for an optional area too. Like, that's really nice. Actually, should I go? I was like, I swear, if I die because I overshot that. They don't drop Albinauric blood clots, so I assume they're somehow different. This tree seems to have red leaves. Gideon does say that he heard speculation, but considering this information network, it's probably not just any gossip. I agree with you, but I'm just saying, it's still something which he might not necessarily feel. It could just be like, our source is one guy, who maybe, again, turns out to be a reliable guy, but it's not necessarily where it's like, okay, Gideon has high confidence in the information, he himself is hearing it for this. I forget, is this better? Yeah, that's 18. Yeah, it's better, actually, so I should actually be using Stars of Ruin in these close quarter situations. If I can charge it. Another Smithing Stone 8. Again, not surprising, because these are... It seems like you can only access the Halig Tree from the mountaintops. books and scrolls, so nothing unusual there. God, it takes 3 hits to kill you. I hate that. These guys are joining in on the fun, I see. Mm-hmm. Yeah, still Langdell. All roads lead to Godefroy. Rather, all prayers lead to Godefroy. There we go. Alright, and this takes us back to where we started, right? Yeah. Okay. So far, so good. I should be able to jump here, right? Whoop. Oh, and there's a ladder here. Cool. Perfect. Pardon me, sir. Pardon me, sir. Pardon me, sir. Pardon me, sir. I know you were busy bowing and worshipping your god Mikola or whatever. Your god, the twins. No! Yeah, no. Dang it! I was so panicked. I was like, shit. I can't lock on. I'm stuck in a wall. Like, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do, chat. Oh, man, that was a terrible position to be in. Also, they have Knights Cavalry at the Consecrated Snowfield, if I recall correctly, so Margit's men have intel flow. Margit's men have intel flow. Yeah, that's so, but does that let them... Are they paying attention to the Halig tree at all? Again, that's a good... But that is true. Wait! Did I ever kill the cavalry in Consecrated Snowfield? I don't think so. Oh, no. Oh, no. Alright. Just gotta avoid the Lionine Misbegotten. Oh. Nope. Not falling for it. Nope. 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 Ah! The grab didn't work because I was technically doing this. Woo! Yay! For workarounds. Oh. All right. And dead. That's much better. Ancient Dragon Smithing Stone. Whew. Everyone's getting a Placky scale. They just pick these things up out of the ground. You just plant them, and suddenly you get a whole new scale. Oh my god, that was scary. How did I accidentally dodge both of those so expertly? Like, holy hell. Like, I did one thing wrong that would have gone so terribly for me. Somber Smithing Stone 8. That's a... Oh my god, are these things are still alive, so they do this! No! It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Golden Rune. It's all fine. Did I rest? I think I didn't. It's not like the snowfield's just any spot on the mountain. That's major Mikola turf. The player might not necessarily tell you the exact details of the empty spot on the tree. Empty spot on the tree. Is that for this area? Because I haven't gone to Mikola yet, so I don't recall his dialogue for when he talks about when we, find the Halig tree and beat Malenia or whatever. Also, even if they do, he could be reaffirming it without just pretending he already knew. There's nothing about Moog from Plaid. He just basically parroting back to what you got, back to you what you've got just told him. There's no reason to believe Gideon would know the goings-on in Halig Tree when he and his spies can't reach there without you. Yeah, I'm gonna have to re-examine this stuff more closely because I do not remember the specifics whatsoever. That was the worst time for me to jump out. I'll be honest, I thought I was gonna be able to get down on him before he sprayed, but nope, I was wrong. That went horribly. I also think you missed the Deathbird there. Gotcha, Xavier. So I've got a Deathbird I gotta also find and Consecrated. Yeah, I didn't do any of the, I didn't try going for any of the nighttime stuff. I kind of was like checked out of Consecrated Snowfield the moment I saw the Rune Bears, to be honest. I was like, okay, let's do the necessary stuff and get out of this area. I am willing to suffer through a Wandering Mausoleum artillery barrage of magic and a giant game of what's it called? Shark Assassin plus Shrine of Amana barrages, but I will not suffer a Rune Bear. There we go. Whew! That was quite the little intense battle we had there. Aeonian why do you keep giving me Aeonian butterflies? Why? I want... Oh, wow, and there's actually another way up here, huh? Yeah, okay, that's cute. That's cute. Smithing Stone 6. Makes sense because they come from the Erd Tree areas. What are you doing here? I don't know what you summon. I don't care. Go away. No, I don't want your Scarlet Rot. Somber Smithing Stone 9. If this goes with, like, what Night Scout was saying earlier, the idea of some, like, Newman runes and stuff, this could be related to the underground. Like, hey, these came from, when they were, when the tree was originally underground, they got brought up with the tree as it grew up. Oh, we just have normal, Oh. Oh, you. Okay, let's get our full heal off. Dang it. Ah. There we go. That's exactly what I wanted. Alright, so that's one. I don't know what the Spirit Caller Snail is doing still. Just in case you're doing something I don't like. Wait. Wait, that was a spirit? What about this? Oh, I see. I see. I get it now. They don't look like spirits, looking at them, but... I guess that's the problem when everything's blue. There has to be a lower yeah, I think I have to go through all of this, and then I can go back down through the lower sections later. I think that's how the game wants me to do this. Okay, that's gonna kill me. That won't. I don't know who just died, but thank you. I'm so weak! I cannot kill these basic enemies. They're so tanky. Why are there so many of you? Papa Loki's about to have a heart attack, chat. Ah, I thought I was gonna dodge! Oh! No! Whew. Melted mushroom. Okay. Okay. Now we're getting melted mushrooms, huh? All right, what's up here? Nothing of note. Of course. Of course. And that's the only way I can jump. Of course. Just of course. The moment I saw that, I was like, ah, shit. Alright, let's start with the basics. Hey, Mikola. Oh, the range on that. Whoop. Whoop. Okay. Okay. Yeah, let's do... Oh, no. Where are you? You're back there. There we go. Whew. This is bad, chat. This is bad. This is not a position I want to be in right now. I hope that item wasn't something unrelated to health or healing. Ah, no. Woo! Ah! I didn't know that was a different room. I'm sorry, sir. Woo! I'm sorry to disturb you. I promise it won't happen again. Sacrament. All for a sacramental blood! I swear, why do we explore, chat? Truly, the philosophical question of our day. Why do we explore just for trash? No! I should have dodged the other way! Ah! Lou Reed. Slap Sacred Blade onto any weapon when fighting the Deathrite birds. I just destroyed one near Ordina with Sacred Blade on a Claymore, even though I'm 70 and 9 Faith. It still did chunks of HP. Are they that weak to HP stuff? I'll have to consider it, Lou, but we'll first have to see how my good old trusty Comet Azure does. Ow. Just in case you chase me. Just not taking any risks. Grave Glove Ward. Genie, I wonder why. God, that jump scares me sometimes. Right, so. Da-da-da, then we can go down here. Alright, so we know what's in there. That's hell. This is bait. Uh-huh. Well, I wasn't expecting to see you here. So, the Crystallians aren't an accident. Okay, here we go. No, we don't want to go this way. Because we're Luke goblins. Maybe Xavier, maybe. The cocoons look, before I get up here, the cocoons look vaguely like the first-gen Elven Orcs, but perhaps are just similar models and meant to be anyone transferring to try a cure problem. That's true, that's a possibility. Could just be reusing assets. Also, it's curious that Mikola values unalloyed gold, as if the Erd tree isn't truly unalloyed, yet welcomes Misbegotten from what is theorized to be a less golden time. Yes, isn't that seemingly the point, though, with the Haley tree? It seems to be accepting of all manner of peoples and creeds and things like that. I assume it's to reflect how Mikola's so accepting of Malenia, despite her rot and all the problems that brings, right? Like, he's kind of like her opposite, yet he... Alright. Chat, am I right that you can jump into this? Am I correct there? Like, it should be something like this. No, not like that. Let's do it like this. Is there anything down here I never got? Oh, wow, an actual wooden door. That's kind of neat. I wasn't expecting to see that here on all this, like, marble or whatever this is made of. I just saw that guy doing that. I was like, is he trying to die? Okay, he's trying to die. Very well. Yeah, the Haley tree is accepting because Mikola is going to pull a Griffith and sacrifice everyone. Yes, the lower roof. The other roof, probably. Oh, okay, so if I can jump from here. Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. Alright, we got 184k on the line. Woo! Oh my god. I've also noticed, of course, the candle trees, right? So that's been a thing. Whew. Alright, since we're so close to the boss, I think we're going to do the boss and then call it there. That sound fair? Because I feel like I probably can beat the boss. I think I'm confident there. Oh, cool, that Viridian Amber. Of course. Of course it's the green one with the stamina. This one will last far longer and be able to do much more than the original Erd tree. Oh, Miyazaki, you. Cool little library thing. Again, I love all the new assets and completely unique architecture of this place. I'll be honest, I think aesthetically, Haley Tree might be my favorite. I think I found my new favorite area. Excuse me. The curiosities that the Haley trees... Oh! I should not have been looking away! I got assassinated, chat! No! Okay, where was I? The curiosities that the Haley tree's main aim, the unalloyed gold, would sound as if it'd be even more against any faction deemed not purely gold. But yeah, but it sort of depends on, like, sort of the interpretation of the person doing it. I would agree, though, it is kind of funny how the quote-unquote corrupted, right, those who are filthy, dirty, are the ones that are being accepted by the pure gold. Again, pure gold meaning no filth without lacking, right? So it's one of these little ironies in that, that Mikola's idea of pure gold without any impurities includes what the Erd tree would consider impure. There's a certain irony in that for sure. But again, I think it goes back to his sister, right? Because he's all about abundance and plentiful and like all that stuff, right? And you know, youth and like burgeoning life. And she's all about the decay, right? And the ending of that stage to get ready for the new life afterwards, right? And so, but she's like the thing that's like dirty, filthy, quote unquote corrupt. And he's kind of like, nah, I accept that kind of stuff here. I love my sister. We're at the 200k again. Oh god, chat. All right. I should have seen that coming. Yep, I should have seen that coming. A mile away. Okay, we're gonna do this, chat. Whoop. Oh, it's the cannon! I thought it was the... Oh. Ow! Soothing Stone 8! Anything out here? Ow! Where's the shortcut? There's our shortcut. I was like, I know there's the shortcut lift around here somewhere. Oh, whoop. Whoop. Whoo! Thank God it's a full elevator. I can feel safe here. Go away. Whoo. Right, like this is, if I recall correctly, this is about how we get back to Grace. Let's spend... Oh wait, no, Grace is over here, isn't it? Yeah, Grace is over here. Alright, so let's quickly, Newman Rune. Okay, so this is safe. What are the numbers we need? 2K more, so... Oh, this is gonna be too much. It's fine. It's about enough. Level up. Alright, we're at our max. The max I want to do for Vigor for now, so we're gonna stick at 40. My glass cannon build is slightly less glass. And just as much cannon! In case you missed it earlier, you can jump to the left to avoid fighting the battle mages and can activate the shortcut from that platform. Oh, wow, I could just jump? Oh, yeah, you're right. I probably could have just jumped from that height. Okay, no, they can actually shoot. I thought there was like a minimum range on that. No. Alright. Alright. Ah. Come on. Come on. A little closer. Dang it. I could have almost one-shot Loretta. Okay, Loretta can be killed, though, pretty quickly. We can kill her with Comet Azure. We just need to get her to charge straight into Comet Azure and basically be stuck there. Oh, yes. I'm super excited to try this out. This fight looks like it'll be a lot of fun to one-shot. Though we also let's see. Though in that regard, I'm curious if Morgoth is maintaining any shunning or phased it out. What with Miscon, Aladdin, Langdell, Wandering Omens on Altus Plateau, yeah, that's curious too. Like, are I know because they're in like the quote unquote pagan quarter, right? That's where you have the pagan graves being made, and you have the Misbegotten praying to where is it here, right? So like that's a thing, and it makes you kind of wonder how much of that is Morgoth driven, how much is that the perfumers acting on their own. Very curious. Alright, we know the drill, chat. Come on. God, that damage just... Yeah! Ah! Woo! I did it! Woo! I knew it! It depends on if it's even really a pagan quarter, if you trust that. They use the pagan graves, so yes, Night Scout. They're definitely pagans that lived in that quarter. I don't know if that necessarily means the Misbegotten were living there, per se. That I'm still looking into. But in terms of the actual type of graves that are being there, yeah, it's the pagan graves. Again, like I said before, when it's a Erdtree when it's affiliated with the Erdtree capital, it's the flower-topped ones like we see in Cathedral in the Deep. When it's the pagan versions, they always use they remove the flower top and make it just the regular flats. Got the drop, it counts. Yeah. Loretta's here to help the Albinorks. Loretta also probably doesn't know that Mikola back dumping some Albinorks at Castle Sol. Did that happen at Castle Sol? I'm trying to think. I don't know if that's Mikola necessarily. That could just be the Castle Sol folk. Because yeah, you're right. There are a few guys who got Albinorks that got tortured there. Woo! That's a full level up we got. Yay! Alright, so what do we got here? We got tree imagery. Duh, makes sense. Haley tree. We got more of that rod and stuff. We got a statue of, I've seen fan artists portray this exact statue as Godwin. Though I would assume it's actually supposed to be America, right? Like, I don't think this is supposed to be Godwin. Though I won't lie, the artists who I've seen one of them in particular that I saw do this as Godwin, like try to like copy this exact statue. I'm gonna lie, it does look really nice. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be the America, right? Yeah, you found 3 Albinorks with black dumpings on them, and 2 imprisoned Gen 1 Albinorks at Castle Sol before Neil. Yeah, I recall seeing a few of them. Well, that is a term used in game, doesn't have pressed. They seem to be closely allied with Mikola. The Castle Sol, yes, I agree, but doesn't necessarily mean that they follow everything that Mikola would want or do, right? So, I guess there's just whatever's up ahead here, huh, chat? Is this Huh? Am I supposed to jump down? Well, whatever. Let's level up. But yeah, so far so cool. This wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. Might just because I'm super high level at this rate, so it's not as bad as maybe what other people have told me horror stories about. I think it also helps that I definitely up my vigor at this point. I think if we didn't up my vigor, we might have had a little bit more trouble, but I think for now it's good. Now we work on the path to level 80 with my int, and then I'm probably going to work on either mind or endurance. Really depends on what the endurance scaling looks like. I don't think anyone is depicted with a crown other than Marika, Godfrey, and Radigan in the Golden Order. Godric and Godfrey probably only started in the Shattering to exert lordship. Yeah, that would make sense. The statue doesn't have boobs. Ah, I see. So the statue doesn't have boobs, and that's why it's associated with Godwin instead. But does it not have boobs, or is it just that the boobs would be covered so the artist didn't bother making them, I guess would be the question. Because these statues are already here. I'd love to see, if you guys have pictures, drop them in the Discord of the boobless statue here. That'd be really cool. And if this is Godwin, that's in itself very interesting. I wonder, do we see that crown on Godwin or Marika? I feel like that would be the best way to know, because that's the iconic aspect of this statue, right? Besides, so I'm gonna take a picture of that. There we go. Someone extracted the model. Yeah, if anyone has screens, I would love to see them in the Discord. America has milk energy. Go visit the next area for an interesting name. Is that for the Abriel or whatever the fuck they call this place? I forget, because the name is slightly different than the Japanese name, and it's a complicated name in both versions, so it's like, whatever. Oh, that's why I missed it. This is a thing. Alright, we'll keep going a little bit longer, then we'll end chat. God, that's a whole other area we can explore, isn't it? Oh, gosh. Oh, no, chat. I'm going to... Alright, we explored one Haley tree. Time to explore Haley tree number 2. Let's quickly get this, because I know I'm going to forget about it, because I'm sure there's going to be a grace at the end of all this, knowing this game. Another ancient dragon smithing stone. Are you what happened? Did the Haley Tree people all like have a battle with like Far Missoula? Was it like passing by or some shit? Was it like just floating around? And they were like, pew pew, we will shoot it down from our ramparts, and they like accidentally like nicked one of Placky's scales or something. Like, what the hell? That wasn't serious, by the way. Yeah, Elphael. Curious if it's Elphael, Elphiel, or Elphael. Again, I recall the Japanese being a different name, so I can't remember exactly what it was, but I remember looking at it being like, oh, that's surprisingly different. Yeah, so here we are, the Brace of the Halite Tree. Yep, that's a whole area I can explore. Yep. Oh god. Look at our little, the DPS check to telling you if you're worthy of being in this area. Well, am I? Can I do enough damage? Yep, the answer is yes. Most certainly yes, I can handle this. Look at that, our church to Trina. Got little candle bearers, banners. Banners. Looks like the generic tiling generic glass windows we see in other areas. We got the pews, pot things, not really that important. This is the thing Quelaag talked about, I recall. The pots with the wheat and stuff in it. So this is, again, likely connected to the whole Trina thing. God, remember when people at the beginning, so many people were trying to cope and be like, no, it's a red herring, it can't be Trina, and like at this point everyone just kind of casually accepts, yeah, it's probably Trina. It's probably Trina / Mikola in the teaser for the DLC. Okay, guys, now that we're here at this wonderful little church, doing all our little churchy things, I think it's time we call it. There are bat-winged women in the stone engravings flanking the statue. Oh, is that so? Let's look at that real quick before I... Are those the Batwomen? They're holding open a book. Because the Batwomen don't look like that, though I can understand with, like, the hair / ear things, maybe. These could just be, like, generic, like, demon gargoyle type things. I don't know. I don't know if they're Batwomen necessarily. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We can talk more about this stuff next time. You guys have done so much to help make this experience very much enjoyable. Thank you for all the pointers and advice and stuff as we try to get all those quest lines sorted out. And now, now we're finally here at one of the big endgame areas on the way to Malenia. Ah! Why am I on my way to Malenia? Why? I don't want to see Malenia. Ah! How am I not dead? Well, I'm about to die. Well, this is the best way to end things, guys. See ya!